homecoming. There's nothing like homecoming. The Golden Tigers welcome all alumni, their family, and friends inside of Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium for the fourth and final football game of our home schedule here in 2025. And welcome to this special edition of TU Game Day Live presented by the U.S. Coast Guard. I'm your host, Charles McNeil. Please be sure to like and subscribe to the Tuskegee Athletics YouTube channel. That's where you find all that you need to know about our Golden Tigers. Tell your friends about us as well. And they'll be excited to know that the Golden Tigers are chasing championships. And we look forward to bringing you all the action. But you know this one is our 101st homecoming. And you already know it's going to be epic.
Reminiscing from when I was playing back in the days, just coming down the hill, when we used to come down the hill from Armstrong and just see all the people in the stands, around the tailgate areas, and then the student section under the shed. So, they gave off a lot of energy for us to go on the field and get a W for homecoming.
They always give us a little juice. Like every time I play volleyball parlay, I feel like that gives us a chance to play better. And the cheerleaders always have good spirit.
The atmosphere here is always unbelievable.
Town of Tuskegee just turns into a huge party.
There's a lot of energy, and it really impacts my game. Just seeing all these people come out to see us play and try to get a win.
It's always been a different experience being from Tuskegee. Used to come here growing up, and coming to the homecoming, it was always packed down. The city used to always be blowed.
Throughout the whole game, the band playing the game, they get us rocking.
Ain't a good football game without the band. The band turns the game up.
The game is nothing without the Crimson Pipettes and the band.
Me being from the city, I grew up watching that now. I'm a part of it, so I get to play in the game as well. So that's a big deal for me too.
Everything's just amplified at homecoming. I guess the significance of the game's amplified. The noise, the people, the smell of barbecue from the background, the tailgating inside the stadium. It's a very unique experience.
Coming up next, we'll take you inside the vault for classic homecoming experiences here at Tuskegee University. So get ready, buckle up your shoes, and get yourself prepared because we're going to celebrate homecoming all show long as TU Game Day Live, presented by the U.S. Coast Guard, continues from our home studio right after this.
C-SPY is a prestigious scholarship, a world-class leadership training program, and a ticket to a rewarding career as an officer in the United States Coast Guard. C-SPY is an opportunity for students attending minority-serving institutions that goes beyond paying for 2 years of tuition and other college expenses. Once accepted, you'll be a member of the Coast Guard, earning a full-time salary, plus medical benefits and a housing allowance. While continuing your full-time studies, you'll get to learn about life in the Coast Guard firsthand. You'll quickly find that the Coast Guard is unique from the other military branches. It's a different kind of service, with crews of like-minded people who perform life-saving missions every day and protect our environment and communities. If you're ready to step up as a leader and help us make the world a better place, then visit gocoastguard.com/CSPI to learn more or talk to a recruiter.
Guys, it's time for us to go inside the vault, but before we do, we have to say thanks to a couple of guys whose tireless efforts made it possible for us to be here today. Their knowledge is king when it comes to preparing for homecoming over the previous 100 homecomings we looked at. So former TU Sports Information Director Arnold Houston and current SID Jordan Benson, we take our hats off to you. Thanks, guys. The GTSN team couldn't do it without you. But now, without further delay, it's time to open up the vault. Since it's homecoming, we had to do a battle of the bands. Please vote for your favorite Crimson Piper band on our Golden Tiger Sports Network Facebook page. That's Golden Tiger Sports Network on Facebook. You can vote right now. Is it 2000? What about 2012? And finally, 2016.
They can still do it. little taste of the dance. And behind the booth, alumni Jordan Divas from Tuskegee. Ladies and gentlemen, Prince and Jordan Divas alumni. Give it up.
So these are just some of the great sounds we have for you this week inside the vault. You know, we're just minutes away from the kickoff of Homecoming 101, the 101st homecoming here at TU. And when we return, we'll close things out with a special edition of The Standard as TU Game Day Live presented by the U.S. Coast Guard rolls on right after this.
We got Lane coming in this weekend for homecoming, and they're looking for their first win. And we just got to make sure that as a coaching staff, we got to make sure that the guys are just locked in from the week. And like I said, with all the festivities and the parties and everything, so that's the biggest challenge for us, to make sure that we just do everything that we can to keep these guys motivated and like I say, without hanging out all night. I mean, you know, it's a college student. That's what some of these guys are going to do, but we just got to make sure that those guys are focused and just disciplined and just stay true to the game.
C-SPY is a prestigious scholarship, a world-class leadership training program, and a ticket to a rewarding career as an officer in the United States Coast Guard. C-SPY is an opportunity for students attending minority-serving institutions that goes beyond paying for 2 years of tuition and other college expenses. Once accepted, you'll be a member of the Coast Guard, earning a full-time salary, plus medical benefits and a housing allowance. While continuing your full-time studies, you'll get to learn about life in the Coast Guard firsthand. You'll quickly find that the Coast Guard is unique from the other military branches. It's a different kind of service, with crews of like-minded people who perform life-saving missions every day and protect our environment and communities. If you're ready to step up as a leader and help us make the world a better place, then visit gocoastguard.com/CSPI to learn more or talk to a recruiter.
Continues right now. This is The Standard, and you can see who is The Standard, the Montgomery chapter of the Tuskegee University Alumni Association. Joining us right now is Janet Mann. She is the president, and congratulations on your victory.
Thank you so very much.
Now tell me, what did it take for you guys to win this thing over these last 9 weeks?
A lot of sleepless nights, early mornings, and a lot of prayer.
Prayer answers everything, right? And this came in handy for you. So what will it take for you guys to repeat? You held off 9 other competitors to win this thing. What will it take for you to come back and repeat next year?
It would be wonderful if I can make sure I keep the club going. However, we'll have to see if we can do the repeat. And it will also take a lot of more prayers, more late night, and especially teamwork.
Teamwork has made the dream work, and joining me right now is the voice of Tuskegee University, Charles Ward, with a special presentation.
Janet and to the entire Montgomery chapter, congratulations on being out for the inaugural chapter challenge.
All right. So that does it for this edition of TU Game Day Live. What do we say at the end of the show? TU! You know! Go Tuskegee!
Bye. Broadcast coverage of Golden Tigers athletics is brought to you by the following. The U.S. Coast Guard, always ready. Booster Digital Displays, dedicated to providing high-quality, affordable LED displays with exceptional service. Alabama Power, for the service of Alabama. TNT Fireworks, celebrating more than 100 years of America's #1 best-selling brand of fireworks. Yellowwood, a better backyard awaits. Home Depot, how doers get more done. Utilities Board of Tuskegee, purpose, progress, people. Coca-Cola, enjoy the moment with a Coca-Cola. Tuskegee Federal Credit Union, serving the people of Tuskegee and the surrounding community since 1938. TLAT Media, step by step, TLAT Media makes your business grow. And by Advertising Solutions, from concept to conversion, we are your advertising solution. With over a nation-leading 714 wins, 12 HBCU national championships, and 28 SIAC titles, the Golden Tigers are set to add another trophy to the crowded Tuskegee mantle with a championship run this season. As they do so, the Golden Tigers Sports Network is ready to bring you all the action from the gridiron, from every play to every touchdown. GTSN will be there with all of the excitement of Tuskegee football, and our coverage begins right now. Let's go inside the stadium. Here with the call, GTSN's Charles Ward and Mark Lassiter.
On a gorgeous fall afternoon from Tuskegee, Alabama, it's homecoming 2025 for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee, and they are hosting the Dragons of Lane College, and we have the coverage for you right here on GTSN. Good afternoon, everybody. Charles Ward alongside Mark Lassiter. And Lass, it's homecoming. Not a whole lot else can be said other than being defining this game by the celebration of Tuskegee.
Well, it's a great celebration annually at Tuskegee, and I define it as the world's largest cookout, because those of you that are familiar with Abbott Memorial Stadium, about 1/3 is devoted to stands and about 2/3 is devoted to improvised tents and cookout paraphernalia, music systems. So we have quite a cacophony of activity around the stadium today. Homecoming, this is the big one. This is the one Tuskegee wants.
We are on the countdown to kickoff show here from Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium as Tuskegee gets ready to meet the Dragons of Lane College. Dragons coming in looking for their first win of the season. And Mark, that's a script we've seen a couple of times this season already.
I was hoping you weren't going to say that, because this is the third time Tuskegee has faced a winless team, and the first 2 times have not been successful. We'll see if the third time is the charm, but Lane is a dangerous team coming in. They have nothing to lose at 0-8.
Golden Tigers of Tuskegee, meanwhile, at 2-6 overall and 1-5 in the SIAC, and really the same could be said for Tuskegee, other than the fact it's homecoming that you absolutely have to win.
Now, one thing you understand about homecoming, Charles, is that there are a lot of distractions during the weekend, during the week itself. I think that one of the keys to this game early will be if Tuskegee can focus, not make the pre-snap penalties, and really play a crisp game from the opening kickoff, it should bode well into the second half. If they come in unfocused, it could be a long afternoon.
That's one of the things we've been talking about throughout the course of the season. Important for Tuskegee to have a quick start in the ball game. Had one last weekend, but kind of pilfered or tailed off at the end of that ball game. So just have not been able to see this team start and finish the same way in the contest.
Well, you talk about a quick start. I'm going to ratchet it down and just ask for a solid start. Play mistake-free football, especially on special teams. We've seen some turnovers that Tuskegee's committed after having some really impressive drives. They've had trouble in the red zone, So if they can correct that, they should be in good shape this afternoon.
Quarterback merry-go-round at Tuskegee last year, it landed on Enio Yapur. Got his first start last weekend, but prior to him, it was Bryson McGrew, another freshman that got his start against the Morehouse game. And we understand it's likely going to be McGrew taking the early snaps in this one.
It's going to be interesting to see how much McGrew has learned and settled down from his first start. He was fairly impressive in that first game. Seemed to have a difficult second half as teams made the adjustment to him. But I like the fact that he is versatile. He has a quick release, and I think the offense responded to him being in the lineup.
It's homecoming for Tuskegee here at Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium on a gorgeous afternoon. The Crimson Piper Marching Band getting set to start things off. We are in the countdown to kickoff show. We'll come to our first break. More pregame activity on GTSN.
Hey, are you fixing the power?
Yep, I'm gonna get the lights back on.
Yeah, my power went out and I have to start level 14 all over again in our game. Yeah, why didn't mine go out?
Well, we have this technology that can stop an outage in its tracks.
Why?
So less people will be affected during the outage.
Why?
So you can make the level 15?
Come on, Brian. Let's go to your house and keep playing.
Good luck, guys.
Back live here at Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium on homecoming day for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. And marking the pregame festivities prior to this ball game getting ready to start, special recognition down at field level, meaning we're going to have to call the field something different now at Tuskegee.
Like Tuskegee paying homage to two former coaches, Rick Comegys and
Willie Slater. Yeah, got the naming for the field after those two coaches. They're dominant in terms of their wins and losses at Tuskegee, only behind Cleve Abbott in terms of the numbers of wins for them at Tuskegee. And the field now rightfully named after two of the impactful coaches here.
And if there's anything that describes this part of the season for Tuskegee, this squad is in strange territory. You talk about those two legendary coaches. This is a institution which is not used to losing. Let's be very frank about it. The last time Tuskegee lost 6 games in a row was 2011. Now, I went online to try to find out when 7 in a row, and I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
It just came up zeros. So this is a very proud program. This is a program that has dominated HBCU football, and all of a sudden, they're dealing with a 2-6 season. So it's got to feel very strange to this squad. It'll be interesting this afternoon, Charles, I think, to see how the players respond. I'm going to put the coaching staff aside for a second. This is where the players themselves are playing for pride of school. They're playing for bragging rights. I just saw the Lane leading tackler, Jeremiah Malbrough, lead his team onto the field, and he was talking trash already to one of the Tuskegee players. So Lane's coming to play.
Indeed, you know that. They're the win of the season, and also with the added insult of being invited as the homecoming guest, so double the incentive for Lane.
No team wants to be format. So you can take that invite personally if you want. Lane is going to put up a fight.
I want to get back to your point about the temperature of the players coming in this ball game, because our Charles McNeil in the TU Game Day pregame show was talking to some of the players. We had a chance to catch up with them during the course of the week. And to a person, the uniqueness of homecoming at Tuskegee just kind of resonates with all the players. And it just creates an environment where they know that they want to notch it up another level.
So let's talk about the world's largest cookout. Last year, this game was attended by 47,311 people. Now, compared to the intimate gathering we had last week, there are a lot more people here this afternoon. It's going to be a packed house, and the players will feel that energy. It's up to them to give the crowd something to cheer about.
Almost set to begin football action here in Homecoming 2025. As far as we can see, left to right, tents pitched, and behind us, the RV area packed wall to wall as well.
You know what I didn't discover until this afternoon, right before the game? I didn't realize there was an additional RV area to the parking lot to our right. That is basically not only an RV area, but it's an exhibition area for all the frats and sororities. I had never been down there.
Absolutely, yeah. And you were talking about that a couple of weeks ago and leading into homecoming about the changes that took place. You had to experience some of it getting on campus today. Yesterday, I was here, and there are a lot of the people that were coming in as guests with their RVs. They were kind of coming in. Everybody had to be in before 9 o'clock, so it was a real traffic jam trying to get down to that section.
Well, you know, it's interesting. You talk about the day before. I remember back in the 90s when we first started doing CAU football, the hill to our left on Friday afternoon, Tuskegee fans would arrive in the afternoon and mark out their plots with crime scene tape for the next day, and nobody would mess with their plots, which I thought was a great tradition.
You want to talk about tradition? I'm glad you mentioned that because this is the first year we had the Alumni Chapter Challenge, and we had a tent for the winning chapter, the Montgomery chapter, up to our left, up above on the hill. So yesterday, as we're setting the tents up there with the tent provider, and we had the GTS tent up there as well. The person that's over this for Tuskegee in terms of designating the spots for tailgate, she came up and she saw the tent that Bernard had put up as a part of the regular tent scenario. Then she saw the GTSN tent, and about that time she saw me walking by. She said, "I want to have a word with you. Somebody's taking your space up in here."
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that Golden Tiger Sports Network has got such a presence at the tailgate and for the pregame festivities. It's quite a setup up there.
Yeah, and the Montgomery chapter, congratulations to them again for winning our inaugural Alumni Chapter Challenge. We'll have it again for you next year, with no question about it. Set to begin football action here, the Golden Tigers Tuskegee, dressed in white trunks this afternoon and black jerseys with the crimson numerals outlined in white and the crimson helmets. And for the Dragons of Lane College, dark blue pants, white jerseys for them, dark numerals in blue, outlined a little white trim, and the white helmets for the Dragons of Lane College. So it'll be Tuskegee again winning the toss at midfield, but they deferred, and it'll be the Dragons of Lane College set to go on offense first in this football game.
Now, the job for Tuskegee is very simple. Stop quarterback Nick Billups. He's only averaging 50% passing. He is one of the leading rushers for this squad. He averages 3.3 yards per carry. But I was watching Billups during pregame. Not impressed with the way the ball comes out of his hand. He can be pressured.
Josh Johnson standing deep as Ryans gets us going with a kick coming down to the 5-yard line. Dragons trying to get it up the middle of the field. They got a burst there. With the football, it's John Christian, and Christian still on his feet, works his way up past the 45-yard line near the 46. A big burst for the Dragons from the return.
There's that blip in special teams for Tuskegee in kick coverage. A huge gain all the way out to midfield, just about for Lane. So they'll set up shop on their first drive start in good situation.
Christian, 362 yards on return to the Dragons of Lane College. Got 40 on that return, fielding it at the 5. So the Dragons start this drive in good field position.
Last minute note for Tuskegee's defense, Kaquan Kimber, one of the leading tacklers in the conference, is not going to be playing this afternoon.
Boy, that's going to be a big blow for Tuskegee. They have just been injury-riddled throughout this season, and probably none bigger than Kimber being out of the lineup this afternoon. So first play from scrimmage for the Dragons. They go left to right on your listening device. Billups, he'll start in shotgun. Slot is to his left. Ball fake. Now they go straight up the gut with the carry and past midfield, rolling over into Tuskegee territory. On that carry, it was Marcel Cutright.
Now you talk about the absence of Kimber at linebacker for Tuskegee. First play that Lane runs right up the middle in a spot where Kimber would normally fill that hole.
That football now at the 48-yard line on the TU side of the 50. The Dragons trying to start early in this football game, looking for their first win of the campaign. Billups in the pistol. He'll take a snap, looks to his left, fires immediately, and the pass goes incomplete. Trying to get it on a crossing route, and the pass goes incomplete. Good coverage by Tuskegee.
Now here's what you notice about Billups right off the rip. When he dropped back to pass, he was flat-footed, planted, didn't do a decent job of shifting his weight forward. He's just standing in a stationary position. I think if Tuskegee can get pressure in Billups' face, they can think turnover early.
Billups, 71 out of 144, 5 interceptions coming into this homecoming game. It's third down and flags at the line of scrimmage now. The Dragons appear to have jumped there, and that'll favor the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee.
You know what the difference between an 0-18 and the rest of the conference is those type of mistakes, pre-snap penalties, Lane hurting themselves. Now, they come off the big kickoff return. They have a decent run on the first play and a penalty to negate it.
Came into this ball game, 61 penalties, 432 yards assessed against them, and they get their first here at Tuskegee's homecoming. So that'll push them back on their side of the 50.
Referee better go back and get that flag at the 38-yard line. He tucks it in his pants and acts like nothing happened.
Don't mind me, right? So that'll make it third down and 8 now for the Dragons. First possession of the football game, first quarter action. On the ground, they're going to come back to the short side of the field. Cutright's got some space there, banged at the 40-yard line. Contact there. He's out of bounds, but he's past the sticks, and the Dragons get a first down running that one right side.
As you see frequently on big running plays downfield, Aiden Ware, the wide receiver for Lane, through a key block right about the 45-yard line on the corner, picked up an additional 5 yards after the catch.
It's a Dragon team that averages 122 yards per game on the ground. Cutright with a couple of nice runs in this first possession. They are at the Tuskegee 39. 13:25 remains in this first quarter of play. This is the first possession of the football game. Tuskegee showing blitz at the corners. They're coming. Billups dumps it out in the flats. Bobbled around. Tuskegee with the good stop there. LaMarcus Kinney could not handle the pass coming from Billups, but Tuskegee close to an interception there, just never really focused on the football.
Billups trying to throw the out route, but he had Aiden Ware running a in route at about the 25-yard line. He was open by 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
So that'll bring up a fourth down, I beg your pardon, for the Dragons of Lane College. It's 2nd and 10 after that incompletion. Football at the 39. TU 4 up front in the box. Billups lines up in shotgun. They bring Kinney in motion to the right side. Bobble on the snap. Billups pulls it down, slips on the surface, shoots it out of bounds. Pressure by Tuskegee. That play for the Dragons kind of doomed from the start with the high snap.
Give credit to Michael King downfield in coverage. That incompletion could be attributed to the decent job that Tuskegee's defensive backs did 15 yards deep as Lane was trying to hit the mid-range pattern.
That'll make it third down and 10 for the Dragons. Billups on the snap. On the ground, they go straight ahead with it. TU ready for that. Not sure what the Dragons saw on that play to lead them to just go a straight dive play there. But no gain on that play, and that'll bring up fourth down for Lane College.
Jacoby Diamond, one of the first players in the middle of the field for Tuskegee, shutting that play down in the middle.
And you were talking about them having nothing to lose, meaning the Dragons of Lane College at the 39 of Tuskegee on a fourth down. They're going to go for it here.
Watching their place kicker during pregame, he was struggling from 35 yards out.
It kind of forces your hand to a large degree. 4th and 10. Billups with the snap. Pressure by TU. Billups steps up. Got some space left side. Now Tucks has got a man there beyond the sticks. Kenny with the catch. Another good job there for the Dragons of Lane College. That time Billups stretching that play, giving Kenny enough time to get free.
Billups showing enough patience, rolling to his left, waiting for his receiver to clear. Had enough arc on the pass, not a lot on it, but it was very accurate. Lane picks up a big first down in Tuskegee territory, about 5 yards from the red zone.
Yeah, on that fourth down effort by them, they'll keep the chains moving. Came in at 11:24 in terms of fourth down efforts. They go on the ground underneath, and Tuskegee defense handles that up front. Maybe a gain on the play, not much more on the inside.
Now, we talk about sequences of plays. Player to watch could be Aiden Ware. He's working against Michael King Jr., lined up to the near sideline. Tuskegee has no slot defender on this side. It's basically one-on-one coverage. So it's King versus Ware.
Cut right departs the football game after no gain on the previous carry. 2nd and 10 from the 25. Phillips, he'll take a snap. Looks to his right and tucks it and flipped it away. Got it away at the last minute to Christian as Tuskegee was collapsing on him for a sack. They got it back to the line they lost a couple of yards on it, but that was kind of a desperation move there by Phillips.
You know, you read my mind. I had the word panic in my mind because as he was going down, you saw the ball come up in the air. Very dangerous territory in heavy traffic as Tuskegee was closing, trying to make the sack.
3rd down and 12 after that strange play. The line of scrimmage, 27. TU defense has been out here almost 5 minutes now in this first quarter. 10:26 remaining. No score. First drive of the contest. Phillips going to go on the inside handoff. Tuskegee knocks that down at the line of scrimmage. No space there on the inside for Christian at all for the Dragons.
Tuskegee's defensive front, very stout against Lane so far up front. You can see the penetration. Look at the crimson helmets just getting into the backfield before Lane can get anything started.
For Tuskegee, the issue has been giving up that big play on the 3rd and 4th downs in this drive for the Dragons. That situation now with 4th and 13. And before this play is run, the Dragons of Lane College take a timeout. With 9:39 remaining in this first quarter of play, no score here at Homecoming 2025. We'll step out for a break on GTSN.
I grew up coming out to this land. There's just something special about it. I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's really important to me.
I'm Will Sparrow, director of the Tuskegee Lift Academy, and this is the Golden Tiger Sports Network.
And welcome back, everybody. After the timeout, Dragons face a 4th down and 13 from the Tuskegee 27-yard line. On the 4th down, Howe snap, they'll handle it. Right side, Phillips rolls toward the sideline, looking for somebody to cut. Nothing happening there, and just shoved out of bounds by the Golden Tigers just in front of the Dragon bench. So on the 4th down play, possession will go over to Tuskegee after they break up the scrum at the Dragons bench.
This scrum is not going anywhere as 3 or 4 Tuskegee players got tangled up on the sideline as the quarterback was going out of bounds, who is still down on the sideline, now slowly coming to his feet. A lot of traffic, a lot of feet getting tangled up on the near sideline. Fortunate that didn't turn uglier after the play was over.
Messiah Wells, the Golden Tiger there, making the contact with Phillips at the sideline to put him down. And that's when the contact ensued after that with the teams. But everything's okay. Football over to Tuskegee. So the Golden Tiger defense stiffens at the end there, and they get the football back to the offense for the first time in this football game. TU takes it on offense with 9:11 left, first quarter of play. And it will be Bryson McGrew who starts this football game for Tuskegee. Did not play last weekend.
So you know why the switch has happened. The Golden Tigers have scored a total of 16 points in their last 2 games. So that going to the bullpen for the left-hander was a wise move.
Yeah, I couple that with the fact they've only scored 2 touchdowns throughout the course of the season on the ground. So Tuskegee is trying to mix things up and see if they can find the formula here for homecoming. Sprint handoff right side. Sellers looking for the corner. He'll turn it and get it up near the 35-yard line, close to the first down marker for Tuskegee on a first down run right side.
Great run by Sellers as Zaqueen Reeves of Lane got on his back and went for a ride for about 3 yards up to the far sideline. So Tuskegee with a big play on their first down call.
Sellers, the senior, limited yardage on the season, but a nice burst there by him on the right side, about a yard shy of the marker. McGrew in shotgun. First pass offering for him. Bryson shoots it up the field, got a man there, and Garmin dropped it right there midfield. Garmin had it just for a moment, tried to take that football step, as they say, and he just lost the football.
Lane was claiming that they recovered, but Garmin, normally a very dependable receiver for Tuskegee, wide open at the 50-yard line, just dropped the ball. That wasn't as a result of contact. He just lost his focus, and as he was trying to turn upfield, forgot the main thing. The football.
Indeed. He was one of the players we talked to this week about the excitement of homecoming. And that's not the way he wanted to debut in this homecoming match this afternoon. As you referenced, probably the most steady set of hands in that receiving core for Tuskegee. So TU on the ground now. They need one to get the first down. They'll get that on the run left side.
That whole idea of focus comes into play for both teams now. Tuskegee would have had the first down pickup on that last long pass. Fortunately, to pick it up on the running play, a new set of downs as they go set up shop at the 37-yard line.
That was Morris on the carry for Tuskegee, and Johnny got it up to the 38. That's enough for the TU first down as the clock running at 8:03 remaining first quarter. Nation fakes going in motion, stays to the right. McGrew in the pocket, looks that way, tripped up. Now he gains his balance. Now goes underneath with a slide at the 41-yard line. Nice look there by Bryson. Saw that he didn't have much, got tripped initially, but found his balance to get some positive yards.
Traylon Kizzy for Lane had pressure from the right side. Excellent job of one of the running backs for Tuskegee picking up the rush, allowing his quarterback to step up. As it stands, short gain on first down for Tuskegee, 2nd and 8.
Line of scrimmage will be the 41. And McGrew in shotgun. This time in Nation in motion right side. Snapped. Bryson trying to set a screen. He'll roll it right side instead. Looking for a block from the receiver. Scoots out of bounds near the 45-yard line. Just a couple of yards shy of the first down marker. So they were trying to set that screen on the inside, but Lane was ready for it. And Bryson opted out of that and runs it right side. Good gain by him.
Now, we talked about the player to watch for Lane on defense, Jeremiah Malbrough. He's 9th in the conference at 31 tackles, 13 assists. So Malbrough is a player to keep note of.
Third down and about 2.5. We'll call it 3. With 6:34 left, first quarter of play, no score. The freshman McGrew, he'll take the snap, shoots it out in the flats. Nation with the catch there, looking for a block, got one there. Ian past the 50, spun it to the 45-yard line. That's a first down for Tuskegee.
Nice catch by Newcomb. Coming back for the football as the ball was delivered a little bit high. He had to wait an extra count. You know, running backs in the open field want that ball to arrive a little sooner and a little more rhythm, but to his credit, turned it upfield, picked up the first down.
The line of scrimmage to 45-yard line after the catch on the Dragon side of the 50. McGrew in shotgun. Slots either side. Pressure coming from the corners. Bryson toward the sideline, trying to get it to Nation again, but he overshoots Ian at the sideline and out of bounds. So that pass is incomplete. Bryson really recognizing the pressure coming early on from that Lane defense, and short drops by him in terms of steps in the pockets, at least creating the option for a throw downfield.
You know, one thing Lane's trying to do up front is give Tuskegee a lot of different looks up front. They're going with 3 down linemen right now, 2 edge rushers from the upright position. Now one backs up into more of a slot role. So they're at the line of scrimmage, giving Tuskegee a lot to think about.
McGrew will take the snap. Looking upfield, shoots, got a man. That's Nation wide open at the 15. Spins past the defense, got a second wave, turns, and scores for Tuskegee at homecoming 2025.
Frederick Lewis for Lane had a hand on Nation's jersey, but Nation just spun away from the tackle at the 5-yard line and gives the fans under the shed something to cheer about.
Ian, a big part of that offensive push there for Tuskegee. 2 receptions prior to this one that he springs free, and as you referenced, just spins out of the coverage twice to score for the Golden Tigers. So TU strikes first here coming. Ryans with the point after. That one's blocked at the line of scrimmage. Somebody from Lane got a hand up there and able to block the extra point attempt by the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee.
Go ahead and give credit to Devontae Richardson. It's a strong safety that just shot the gap right up the middle. Seemed to get a hand on that football. Tuskegee doesn't complete the extra point, so they take a 6-0 lead.
That was the first time all season long that Ryans had one of his extra point attempts blocked for Tuskegee. So the Golden Tigers cash in with Nation as McGrew found him at the 15 and the rest. Ian Nation on the run. TU leads at 6-0. Let's come to a break here on GTSN.
C-SPY is a prestigious scholarship, a world-class leadership training program, and a ticket to a rewarding career as an officer in the United States Coast Guard. C-SPY is an opportunity for students attending minority-serving institutions that goes beyond paying for 2 years of tuition and other college expenses. Once accepted, you'll be a member of the Coast Guard, earning a full-time salary, plus medical benefits and a housing allowance. While continuing your full-time studies, you'll get to learn about life in the Coast Guard firsthand. You'll quickly find that the Coast Guard is unique from the other military branches. It's a different kind of service, with crews of like-minded people who perform life-saving missions every day and protect our environment and communities. If you're ready to step up as a leader and help us make the world a better place, then visit gocoastguard.com/CSPI to learn more or talk to a recruiter.
Back live on GTSN. Kick has already been conducted. The Dragons got it up to their 18-yard line in the first play from scrimmage. They try to go up top, and the pass partially batted by Tuskegee defensively. So the Golden Tiger defense out there, and the Dragons face a 2nd down and 10 after the incomplete pass.
Mentioned the delivery of quarterback Nick Billups of Lane. That time, Tamarcus Grayson got his hands up on that football, batted it away.
So that'll bring up 2nd down now for the Dragons. Snap to Billups. They go on the ground, or a good ball fake by him, but the Tuskegee defense up front not fooled at all by it. They gang tackle and surge near the initial line of scrimmage for no gain on that play.
Now here's an obvious passing down for quarterback Nick Billups of Lane. Wouldn't be surprised to see the Tuskegee defensive backs to play a little bit more aggressively on this next attempt.
It'll be a 3rd down attempt for the Dragons. We're at 4:23 left in this first quarter of play. TU just scored the first touchdown of the ball game on a touchdown pass from McGrew to Ian Nation.
And when I say aggressively, I mean cheating their corners, their slot corners, closer to the line of scrimmage.
Billups brings a man in motion. High snap, but he handles. Circles right side. Now dumps upfield. Got a man there coming back to the football. That's Macarius Johnson. And he is beyond the sticks for the first down. Billups awfully close to going past the line of scrimmage on that pass play, but able to get it upfield to Johnson for the catch. So the 3rd down situations right now favoring the Dragons of Lane College. They're doing a good job of converting on 3rd, and they even converted on 1 4th down play in this first quarter of play. On the ground, straight ahead. That's Kenny with it, going to work at left side, and TU stringing him toward the sideline as a helmet comes free. Pickup of about 3 on that play for the Dragons.
Another matchup to watch, Charles, on the near side now. Michael King matched up against Marcarius Johnson, the wide receiver from Lane. There is no safety help, apparently, on this side of the field for Tuskegee. So King has Johnson one-on-one.
2nd down, for the Dragons of Lane College. Football at the 35-yard line, their own 35-yard line at the middle of the football field. They go left to right. Snap. They come right side, looking for some space at the corner, trying to turn it, wrestled out of bounds. Carry that time by Jaquan Brandon, the redshirt freshman from Houston for the Dragons of Lane College.
Like the tackle by Devon Irving on the sideline right in front of the Lane bench. Made the tackle, spun up, had a few words, and got back to the center of the field.
Everybody trying to shine here on homecoming. And Dragons facing a 3rd down and 2 from their own 40-yard line. We're down to 2:25 left first quarter to play. Tuskegee with a 6-0 lead. Movement up front by the Dragons, and the flag finally coming in there. Right tackle for them, trying to hold the spot. Shaquinton Lofton, the sophomore from Jackson, Mississippi, couldn't hold his position.
Devon Irving was the first player for Tuskegee to point out the flag. He turns to the Lane sideline celebrating, then marks off the first down gesture himself before the referees get it.
Yeah, he was just kind of pointing over there, waiting for the officials, like, okay, you can throw it whenever you're ready.
Irving very animated for homecoming.
Yeah, we're talking about him not this past week with Coach James and just the energy that he brings to that defense. He came into the Tuskegee program from Lane College. And, he certainly wants to spike his effort this afternoon. 3rd down for the Dragons. On the inside, they give it on a handoff, but nothing but black jerseys for Tuskegee in that backfield of the Dragons.
First player there was DeMarcus Wynn for Tuskegee, punctuated by the follow-up by Devon Irving Jr., who helped out on the tackle. So as it stands, Lane will go into obvious punt formation.
Demarion Collins had nowhere to go for the Dragons on that carry. And TU, good defensive performance there. They were forced to punt by the Dragons and get that football back. Roca to punt it away for the Dragons of Lane College. High snap, TU coming at it. Roca hit it off the side of his foot, goes out of bounds on the drag out of the 50. So Tuskegee will be set up in really, really good field position as they take control of this football.
That punt may have a net of less than 15 yards as Tuskegee brought pressure. The ball off the side of the foot, as you mentioned, came directly in our direction. And as it stands, it'll be marked at the Lane 45-yard line.
Yeah, it started with a very high snap that Roca had to go up to get. And as he came down getting set to punt, that one fluttered right off his feet. Tuskegee with some heavy pressure up front. So from the 45, TU takes over again. They scored on their first possession. McGrew to Nation. He'll start in a shotgun with an I formation extended to his right. TU on the ground. They'll run it left side. Zena Mulba with that carry for the Golden Tigers. Zena with about a yard pickup on that play.
Mulba was trying to pick his way along the line of scrimmage. A little jump cut to right, back to the left. Picked only about a yard and a half. Not much there to start off that play.
Yeah, this is one of the areas that Tuskegee felt like they would be very strong in this season. That is with that complement of backs they had coming into the campaign. They thought we were going to get a lot of punch from them. But right now, the offensive running backs averaging just 76 yards per game on the ground. And that's been one of the real problems for Tuskegee in terms of sustained offense. We'll see how they do here at homecoming 2025, though. They face a 2nd down and 9 after the 1-yard pickup by Zena. McGrew shoots it up the middle. Catch there by Garmin. Garmin dropped one earlier, but this time in heavy traffic, able to hang on to the football at the 27-yard line.
Garmin goes high to make the catch, signals first down, atoning for that early drop. We'll have a timeout.
Garmin's 8th catch of the season. The Dragons take the timeout here. Actually, we'll come to the end of this first period of play, Mark. I think that's what we got here. Yep, we're headed into the second period. At the end of one, it's the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee with a 6-0 lead over the Dragons of Lane College. Step out here on GTSN.
Listen up. That's the world, and it's begging to be explored. Hear it? It's talking to that part of you that doesn't buy what everyone's selling. The part that understands you get you better than anyone. And that you deserve the freedom to create your own flight plan. This is your office in the sky. It's where you chase the horizon, create connections, and turn every destination into a chance for exploration. Not only of where you are, but who you are. And this sound, it's the sound of you saying,
Ladies and gentlemen,
this is your captain speaking.
Are you ready to soar? The Lift Academy. Explorers wanted.
I grew up coming out to this land. There's just something special about it. I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's really important to me.
After the muff punt and after the end of that first quarter, Tuskegee takes over in this second quarter of play. Down at the 37-yard line of the Dragons of Lane College. They want to go to work quickly here. They go on the ground, mobile left side. Zena wrapped up but spins forward near the 35 on the left side carry.
Excellent job of the Tuskegee quarterback handling that high snap. Made it look easy, but that ball was off above his left shoulder. He grabbed it with one hand, made the handoff in rhythm.
So pickup of a yard there by Mulba. That'll make it 2nd down and 9. He joins McGrew in the backfield. Garmin flanked right side, and in the slot that side is Nation. TU left to right in this second quarter of play. Snap to McGrew. Pressure at the corners. The freshman flushes, rolls right side, points upfield, looking for a block. Gets it at the 15, runs out of bounds near the 14-yard line. Good recognition by him. And coming back trying to seal a block for him was Zena Mulba. But Zena, that time, would have been in jeopardy of blocking in the back, so he let that play unfold, and McGrew runs out of bounds.
McGrew did an excellent job of reading the non-block, taking the angle to the near sideline, picking up what he could. An important first down for Tuskegee. You know, this game has a feel to me, a little bit of the Albany State game, where Tuskegee's defense has done its job. Now it's on the offense to see if they can put some more points on the board.
Yeah, on that first possession, they did score the touchdown, just missed on the point after. That's one of the things we've been talking about, doing well between the 20s, but not scoring. On the first one, they did. McGrew going to jump pass it out in the flats and left it behind, incomplete to Nation.
Once again, another high snap from center. That be something that Tuskegee has to correct, because you don't want to make your quarterback put your quarterback in an awkward situation with snaps off to either side or above his head.
That pass goes incomplete. Nation trying to scramble to make sure it wasn't a fumble instead. But it's 2nd down and 10. TU got to get it right at the 5 for a first down. 5 more, they scored the touchdown. McGrew to the sideline. I think they're keeping the play clock here upstairs. As TU back to the line of scrimmage now. Mulba to the right of Bryson. And the snap to McGrew. Shoots it out in the flats and overshoots an attendant receiver there and out of bounds. He was trying to get that one to Wilson out there and shot it too far out of bounds. If there is an area in which Bryson can spot some work in the offseason, it's those passes to the sideline, because he's not really found his touch in terms of getting those receivers who there are open and shooting them out of bounds instead.
I thought you were going to go in the direction of saying he might need to spend some more time in the weight room to build up his arm strength to make that pass off a one-step drop.
Oh, they may all work in tandem. Good call. Maybe the reason he's floating them. 3rd down effort here. Here comes the pressure, trying to set a screen up in the middle. Mulba with the football, but the Dragons were ready for that. Zena fighting, trying to stay on his feet. May have picked up a yard on that screen play, and that'll bring up a 4th down for Tuskegee. And we'll see if that brings on Larkin Ryans for the field goal.
It's one of those plays that makes you hold your breath for a half second because Tuskegee, as you mentioned, trying to run that screenplay in between the hash marks as opposed to outside the hash marks. That pass came into a lot of heavy traffic. Tuskegee fortunately made the completion, but as it stands, here's the field goal attempt.
It'll be a 30-yard effort. Ryans 2 of 3 last weekend, hit a long of 44 this season long. There's the kick, got plenty of leg on it, and Ryans knocks it through for the Golden Tigers. Ryans, number 1 field goal kicker in the SIAC, 13 of 18 after he hit that one, knocks it through, and TU builds its lead to 9-0 over the Dragons of Lane College. Good chance for us to take a break here on GTSN.
Hey, are you fixing the power?
Yep, I'm gonna get the lights back on.
Yeah, my power went out and I have to start level 14 all over again in our game. Yeah, why didn't mine go out?
Well, we have this technology that can stop an outage in its tracks.
Why?
So less people will be affected during the outage.
Why?
So you can make the level 15?
Come on, Brian. Let's go to your house and keep playing.
Good luck, guys.
Back live here on GTSN after the 30-yard field goal by Ryans. The kick is away and into the end zone, so the Dragons will come out, start this drive from their own 25-yard line. Tuskegee with it, and a short field to work with there would have rather to get to 6 points on the touchdown, but they do get the field goal from Ryan.
Once again, Tuskegee's defense has the task of keeping Lane pinned on this end of the field. I was looking at the weather report, Charles, 65 degrees here in Tuskegee, Alabama. Crystal clear blue sky day for homecoming. Couldn't have a better situation. Fans are still coming in. I can see to our left, there's a gathering of fans to the gate up the hill right next to Logan Hall. I don't know if they're going to try to decide to come into the game or they're going to stay up on the top of the hill.
Well, you know, they had that new area up there called Vendor Village. So a lot of reasons for people to want to stand up and around there, including a lot of good grub in that area. Whistles at the line of scrimmage, and Coach Stanley Connor takes a timeout. He and his Dragons want to talk it over before this play from scrimmage.
So to follow up on your description, I would say that the stadium architecture here takes up about, let's say, 1/5 of the total landscape of activity that's going on, especially during homecoming, with activities in the parking lot, down the hill from the parking lot, and up the hill, as you mentioned, where the vendor marketplace is to the adjacent to Logan Hall.
Yeah, most of the people would be familiar with it in Logan Hall, and right in the front of it is where that Vendor Village is. Walked it last night, and it was just wall-to-wall vendors of all types.
So people come early and stay late. Will they keep the Vendor Village open tonight? I'm curious.
I know everything on campus closes at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
So I'm sure they'll be there until that hour for certain. Play set to resume now after the timeout at Comma Slater Field. Tuskegee leading at 9-0. Dragons from their own 25-yard line. Phillips joined in the backfield by Cutright. They go right to left, second quarter. High snap, they get it on the ground. Cutright tries to maneuver left side, but wrapped up there by Irving for Tuskegee.
You know, one other footnote about the atmosphere at homecoming. People not only bring their own sound systems, a few of the tents have their own DJ. During the first quarter, there was a DJ adjacent to the shed on the far side of the field. You could hear him all the way on this near sideline.
Yeah. Yeah, there are a couple of them with their own in-house music, that's for sure. Second down effort for the Dragons now. TU showing blitz, high snap. They got it over the head of Phillips. He'll try to run it down and scrambles on top of it. Does so near the 3-yard line. So eventually those high snaps This one gets away from the quarterback for the Dragons of Lane College, but we have seen that consistently in this first half. Snaps have been off for the Dragons.
And Jacoby Harden for Lane was clapping his hands in disgust right about the 45-yard line as he was running a fly pattern on the near sideline, wide open.
Well, maybe the center saw it. He panicked because he threw that football a couple of body lengths high for Billups. They were fortunate to get back on the football. TU fortunate to have him pinned down inside of the 5.
Billups actually standing in the end zone.
They go in reverse and they
Another
bobbled it
snap
again. This time it's loose, rolling to the back of the end zone, and it's going to be a safety for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. Wow.
Now, normally a center quarterback exchange can be fixed the first time around, but it's unusual to see the second snap go through the hands of the quarterback, and Tuskegee takes advantage with a quick safety.
So that'll extend the TU lead to 11-0. And the good news is that TU will get this football right back after they get the safety on the Dragons.
And for a squad like Lane coming in at 0-8, that is the type of play that just takes all of the enthusiasm out of the energy that you had starting this game.
Take a look at these first quarter stats here as the teams get set to make it back out on the field. We're at 10:57 remaining in the first half. After the first quarter of play, Tuskegee 10 plays, 81 yards of offense in the first quarter. They had 4 first downs on that drive that they scored the touchdown, or had a total of 4 in that first half of play. Bryson McGrew in the first quarter of play just one passing on that 10-yard reception. But Tuskegee on the scoreboard with a touchdown, a field goal, and now a safety. So the Dragons will kick it away. And the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee will have Tuskegee native E.J. Hall back there. And E.J. will be joined by Devin Cooper. So TU with an 11-0 lead, getting set to get the football right back. It'll come to E.J. Hall. E.J. squeezes at the 27. Up the middle he goes, trying to get to a wall left side. Going to see a flag coming in here for sure. Hall wrapped up near the 45-yard line. Officials did not catch it, but there was some clear holding by the Golden Tigers up top, trying to get to that left wall up there, but TU will not be penalized for that, and they'll have it near the 46 to start the drive.
We mentioned Tuskegee coming into this game with homecoming being the one game they had to get as a team, and so far Lane has been very accommodating as visitors, gift wrapping points to Tuskegee.
Oh, when we did the pregame opening here, as usual, President Mark Brown welcoming the opposition and obviously on homecoming. And part of his comments were, we're glad that you're here. We hope you feel the same way when you leave, because likely you won't. So TU will have it from the 46. And congratulations to Dr. Brown, the rest of his administrative staff, and certainly the athletics department for putting together this homecoming 2025. Difficult circumstances from a year ago. TU quickly with the pass up the field, helmet coming off there as Wilson grabs it, and he's pushed out of bounds past midfield on the Dragon side.
But we do know one thing about homecoming. Traffic will be a lot lighter leaving the stadium. I remember we got stuck last year about an hour and a half coming out of Abbott. And this year, no vehicles have been allowed on campus. So President Mark Brown, with public safety at the top of his list, has made some changes.
And you make the reference about no traffic or minimal traffic. I was coming down, walking down toward the booth earlier today on a ground play left side, and that was bottled up at the line of scrimmage. And this heard maybe 4 or 5 women walking down together. And to a woman, the comment was the same. It's just so much better catching the shuttle, because now you don't have to worry about all this traffic, just like you referenced, trying to get off the campus. You just catch the bus back to the satellite parking lot and you're on your way.
Well, it's a cultural shift. A lot of people may have stayed away, not being familiar with the new regulations, but once people get adjusted to the new situation, I'm sure that we'll be back in the numbers that we achieved last year.
Third down for the Golden Tigers. They are at the 47-yard line of the Dragons. Clock continuing to run here in Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium at Comagee Slater Field.
capacity crowd. This just has a very laid-back feel to it so far.
Sure. A lot of people wondering whether they want to stay or that pass thrown behind the receiver up on the left side of the field, want to stay in under their tents and watch or eventually come into the stands. Such a gorgeous day here in Tuskegee. This is a day you can tolerate a little bit of sun on your skin because it's not too hot.
Well, I didn't call it the world's largest cookout for nothing. This is a very creative and widespread setup that involves tents all the way up to huge RVs.
4th and 2 for the Golden Tigers now at the 47 of the Dragons, trying to add to their 11-0 lead. McGrew, the freshman, got some movement up front. Dragons able to get back, though. Now McGrew going to step in and maybe audibilize at the line. Dragons got a break there. McGrew, he'll take the snap here. Shoots it out in the flats. Underthrown football. Nearest person to that is a Dragon defender, Frederick Lewis.
McGrew's trying to get that ball about 20 yards to the sideline. Seemed to come off his hand a little bit weird. Didn't have enough steam on it. He was fortunate that the Lane defensive back was playing with as much cushion because he was actually the player with the most momentum going towards the pass.
And a pass that was kind of underthrown from McGrew as well, to your point about being able to push him toward the sideline. That was a sideline effort there. And it's not cold by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a lot cooler when you compare Tuskegee weather that they've been used to playing for most of the season.
Well, the funny thing about passing is not an automatic art. Sometimes the ball just slips.
Yep, sure. A lot of things can go wrong with it. On the ground, straight ahead, the Dragons push it right to the 50-yard line, just on a straight dive up the middle. Carry that time for the Dragons of Lane College. It was Demarion Collins, the junior from Houston.
I was watching during pregame, Charles, number 80, Tiavon Brothers of Lane. He seemed to be the player most comfortable catching the football. On that last sequence, he's working against Michael King to the near sideline, and they stayed engaged for about 2 seconds after the whistle had blown. So this is maybe an interesting matchup. Right below us,
Football resting right at midfield for the Dragons. They face a 2nd and 8. Another high snap. Billups fires toward the sideline. Got a man there spinning ahead, making the catch. That is Mercurius Johnson again, his second grab of this first half. That one's good for the Dragon first down.
Saving tackle by the cornerback on the far sideline for Tuskegee. It was a lot of yardage to be gained if that tackle's not made at the 40-yard line.
Johnson, 6'5", 165 pounds with that grab to the 40. Billups, high snap on the ground. Spinning it on the inside is Collins. Collins works it to the 37-yard line. We're at 7:43 left, first half of play. This is homecoming 2025 for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee, hosting the Dragons of Lane College. Charles McNeil will be here at halftime with the halftime show, a couple of special guests, and get you caught up on other things going on in the SIAC and here at homecoming for the Golden Tigers. Second down effort for the Dragons. They're at the 37-yard line of Tuskegee. They bring a man in motion. Billups, he'll feel the pressure. TU had a hand on him, but they couldn't knock him down. But there, they knock him down at the 43-yard line. Coming in to close on that play for the Golden Tigers, that's Kayron Nord. And Nord, the Albany, Georgia native, laid a boom on Billups.
Give credit to Messiah Wells, also in on the tackle as Tuskegee closed really quickly on the quarterback for Lane as he's trying to carve out space. Billups was rolling to his right, had the ball up as if he wanted to pass, but Tuskegee showed some excellent closing speed, shutting that play down.
So that'll bring up a 3rd and long now for the Dragons after they put them back at the 43 on the sack of Billups. TU 4 up front. Irvin showing he's coming in from his linebacking spot. He drops back. Here comes the pressure. Billups right side, flips it upfield in coverage, and that might be a pick by TU. Yeah, they got it. They tipped it, and it came clear to one of the defenders in the back, and Tuskegee comes away with the pick.
The great thing about the pick, I'm going to go ahead and give it to Messiah Wells. his helmet came off as he's diving for the football off the tip. So he's celebrating with his teammates, giving flying high with no helmet on.
The question is, was he celebrating as he was intercepting? TU will have their 5th pick of the season. And that quells the drive by the Dragons. TU from their own 25.
You see players run that tip drill in pregame. That was an authentic way of implementing it off that tip ball and the diving interception.
6:04 remains first half. TU with an 11-0 lead, and they get the football back on the interception. McGrew with the snap. Gives it to, angle it back to the inside on the carry for TU. Down the right side of the field for the Golden Tigers. It's Spivey. Spivey at the 20. One person to beat. Spivey all the way down to the 10-yard line on the perhaps one of the largest ground gainers of the season for the Golden Tigers.
Spivey gets a rise of the crowd as he takes the short handoff. Nothing fancy, just showed a burst of speed into open space down the near sideline. Tuskegee all the way down to the lane 10.
Spivey with not many carries on the season, injured as a part of the season. Look here at home coming on the run right side. They say he stepped out of bounds at the 10, so TU will have it there on the Dragon side of the field. They got him just outside the 10, so it looks like they can get a first down before a touchdown. TU working it on the inside of the field, though, on a carry. They get it near the 6.
Something we haven't seen a lot of this season. Tuskegee's interior offensive line getting a push in the middle of the field, clearing out enough space. That was a nice gain on first down, 5-yard pickup.
Spivey carried that football. He may be a little bit winded now after the long run downfield and on that carry. And a timeout before this play gets started. The officials, they're keeping the play clock out on the field, and they may be wondering whether they should, if there's enough space for a first down before touchdown. They're looking at the chain crew on the far side of the field.
You know, Tuskegee, once they lost their anchor center, LeBron Merriweather, really had to make a lot of adjustments up front. They run a young offensive line on the right side. They seem to be coming together this game.
Get it down to the 1. Looks like it still can get a first down. But right now, it's second down, and TU at the 7-yard line of the Dragons. Jeffrey Kamoku blocking back for the Golden Tigers in on this set as Wilson goes in motion left side on the ground. That's Spivey looking for space, but the Dragons tighten things up and close him down. Maybe got it back to the line of scrimmage, but not much more.
Tuskegee going very conservative now, deep in the red zone against Lane. That play shut down for nothing. This is an interesting call coming up.
Wonder if it's 2-down territory or not. We'll see. Ryans has already hit on a 30-yard field goal on a drive that stalled inside the red zone. This is a 3rd down effort here for that offense of the Golden Tigers.
Lane's defense playing press coverage.
Spivey lines up to the right of McGrew. McGrew with the snap, looking left. Now checks off, got to roll him right side. He's flush, dumps it to the base of the end zone, wide open. Garman, touchdown TU. Flag coming in after the catch by Garman.
You can see 2 players led by Jeremiah Malbrough of Lane complaining to the officials that someone may have been held. The flag came in, but as it stood, something happened to clear out that entire right side and allow Tuskegee receivers to literally be standing in the end zone.
Gabriel Garman standing there as you referenced. Nobody within that screen of him, maybe 10 yards fan space with nobody around. Don't know if the official had some problems getting his flag out of his pocket while it was late and came after the touchdown catch.
Malbrough is still arguing his case as the officials are huddled up.
The referee took the hat off on that play down there. See it down there near the end zone. And they gathered there near the 5 and just ruled there was no penalty on that, no flag on that. And the touchdown stands for Tuskegee. So we don't know how Garmin got that open, but he was wide open in the corner of the end zone. So TU extends its lead. Up 17-0. As a sure-footed Ryan comes on the point after, and Larkin knocks that one through for the Golden Tigers. And Tuskegee with an 18-0 lead over the Dragons of Lane College at Homecoming 2025. Take a break and back with more football action on GTSN.
I'm Will Sparrow, director of the Tuskegee Lift Academy, and this is the Golden Tiger Sports Network.
TU leads at 18-0 after the pass from McGrew to a wide open Gabriel Garmin in the end zone.
After that play, Jersey Chubb, the linebacker for Lane, in a very animated conversation with one of his coaches on the sideline, he was claiming that he might have been picked on that play, but Chubb goes back on the kick return team. But from the time he left the field, he was the player that Lane coaches targeted, so it was Chubb that got caught up in the traffic.
Traffic kind of going one way at this point in this football game. TU with an 18-0 lead over the Dragons of Lane College. And the fans just still pouring in here at Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium. Another deep kick by Larkin drives that one to the back of the end zone. And the Dragons will come out from their own 25-yard line. Chance for us to thank a couple of our One Tuskegee sponsors that joined our GTSN team earlier this week. So Will Sparrow from Lift Academy here at Tuskegee University. Glad to have them aboard as a sponsor of our coverage of Tuskegee athletics. And the Tuskegee Medical and Surgical Center, welcome aboard as well. If you have a business here in the Tuskegee area or Macon County and you want to be a part of a winner, Golden Tigers Athletics, we'd love to have you join our team. Just visit us at Golden Tigers Sports Network at gmail.com and we'll get you set up. On the ground, left side, the Dragons come with it. And Tuskegee able to upend the runner that time, and the left side on the carry, it was Jaleb Tupola. And he's up to the 26-yard line and maybe got a yard, not much more on that play.
Like to stop by Varian Terrier, name we haven't called a lot this year for Tuskegee, came up, broke down into proper tackling position, wrapped up right at the 26-yard line.
Nice call on that. He did. Perfect form on that tackle. Keep your eyes on the hips and you can't go wrong. High snap again. Dragons control it. And another play left side, same result. They went to Tupola again and just nothing there.
Nick Billups has got to be saying to himself, it wasn't for bad snaps, I wouldn't have no snaps at all, because that's the third snap we've seen on two consecutive possessions that have been off target. Tuskegee has got to be taking note. We talked about getting pressure on Billups early. They've already got the safety, but if the center snap problems continue in the shotgun formation for Lane, could be another Golden Tiger opportunity for Tuskegee.
That'll bring up a third down and 9. Whistles before the Dragons come to the line of scrimmage this play.
And, we talk from time to time about the difference between teams that are 0-8, or bottom dwellers in the division, and teams that are at the top of the division. There's not that much difference talent-wise. It's discipline and execution that makes the difference.
That's a great point. That normally is sometimes the biggest difference between the people at the top and at the bottom. Just consistency and doing the right things as much as you can, as often as you can. Come to this 2-minute timeout before the end of the first half, with Tuskegee leading it 18-0 over the Dragons of Lane College at homecoming. Serving the people of Macon County and surrounding area since 1938 when we first opened at Tuskegee Institute. Tuskegee Federal Credit Union offers free checking accounts, safe accounts, home mortgages, home refinancing, automobile, signature, and payday alternative loans, and internet teller service. Better than a bank because when you open an account with us, you become a part owner. Tuskegee Federal Credit Union, insured by the National Credit Union Administration, not for profit, not for charity, but for service. For more information, visit www.tuskegeefcu@gmx.com. So from the 25, Dragons with it, and they have just stalled offensively in this first half. They face a 3rd down and 10 from their own 26. TU would love to get this football back with just a couple of minutes remaining in the first half, see if they can punch in another score before the break. Brown, Tupelo going to work it right side or left side. It hit hard there, but he got it to the second wave of the Tuskegee defense. Short of the first down marker, though.
The disc jockey on that last break was playing between the sheets. I thought Lane might go between the hash marks on that last play, decided to break it outside, come up about 3 yards shy. But as we've seen so far, their kicking game is lacking. And that may be the understatement of the year. Lane has not punted. They've gone for it at least 3 different occasions when they've had fourth and I would consider fourth and long.
Right. Yeah, Roca is listed as the kicker for the team. He's coming out as though he's going to punt this one away. You almost think, they checked his flag here out first. And I didn't see that one back in that secondary of Tuskegee. Now all the officials gathering at the 25-yard line.
Lane remembers that bad punt by Roca in the first quarter. That was off the side of his foot, set up a scoring drive for Tuskegee.
Yeah, maybe a little bit foot shy as you reference. But there at this position of the field, you would almost think they'd have to punt the football away with less than 2 minutes remaining, giving Tuskegee with just such a short field to work with if they don't convert on the fourth. Oh, wow. So the Dragons will get a break there. Paul Carney with the PA announcing, referencing that the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee had a violation.
How many times have we talked about pre-snap penalties? This time, Tuskegee victimized with a violation in terms of having too many players in the defensive huddle. Lane, we'll see what the mark-off is. Lane, it'll still come up short if I'm reading the footwork of the officials correctly. It looks like about a 4th and 4 now. 3rd and 4.
Actually, they'll keep that 3rd down. That's why they took that penalty there, is to be able to take that, keep that down at 3rd and have another shot at this. It'll be 3rd and, as you referenced last, about 4 for the first. High snap, Phillips checks off, got a man there. Catch going to be made near that first down marker. I think that's going to be just enough for the first down for the Dragons of Lane College. Good route there by Josh Johnson, the redshirt junior from Oakland, California. He knew exactly where he needed to get there.
Now, Lane's got to be thinking, if they want to put some points on the board, they've got to think about managing the clock as it's running, approaching a minute and a half to go in this first half.
So instead of TU getting that football back, Dragons come up with a fresh set of downs after the assessment against Tuskegee. Phillips trying to go up top, one-on-one coverage, and the extended catch made there and coming out of the defense, and that'll be an easy touchdown catch there from Macarius Johnson. He was one-on-one down the sideline, got the separation, a flag coming in at the back of that, likely celebration for the Dragons. But he just beat the defense on that. Stretched the field, got a couple of steps, and that pass perfectly thrown by Billups.
Just when I was giving Billups a hard time for his arm strength, he lost a perfect arc. Completed at about the 15-yard line. Receiver just glides into the end zone, picks up the celebration penalty, but out of nowhere, Lane picks up a big play.
Sure, you talk about the complexion of a football game changing. Tuskegee with a chance there to perhaps get the football back and maybe another score before the break. Instead, the Dragons benefited the penalty of Tuskegee, able to toss the long ball, and they get into the end zone for the first time in the football game. Roca now on to try the point after. And what was at one point a coast in the halftime. Waters have gotten a little choppy there as Roca knocks it through for the Dragons, and they cut the TU lead to 18-7 after that touchdown pass and point after. Quick break here on GTSN.
Hello, Tuskegee Nation. I'm Dr. Mark Brown, President and CEO of Tuskegee University. This is our First Lady, Miss Gwendolyn Jackson Brown. We are so excited about the Golden Tiger Sports Network and this year's season. TU, you know.
And welcome back, everybody, to Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium, site that you likely won't see anywhere else. The largest cookout is being dubbed. We're live at Homecoming 2025, and the atmosphere is very festive here for Tuskegee, except for that last play by the Dragons on Comegee Slater Field. They scored the touchdown to cut the Tuskegee lead to 18-7. Roca set to kick. TU with 1:25 left first half. Hall spreading up to try to field it. He touched it at the 22. He'll have to run this one. Got some space, short side of the field, has his legs cut from under him near the 33-yard line. EJ was trying to get to that football desperately to try to create a return for Tuskegee and almost coughed it up.
The kick was so short when it hit at the 30 that Hall was just a bit indecisive whether he wanted to take that on the first hop. Hit the ball with his left hand, didn't return it cleanly, didn't field it cleanly. Ball hit the turf. He was fortunate to be able to pick it up in light traffic and make some yardage out of it. But that's one of those plays that makes you hold your breath for a second because it was in that phantom zone where the kick return team has cleared out and the return men are in an open space.
And you certainly don't want that coming after the touchdown from the Dragons. Tuskegee will keep it, though. They'll start from their own 34. McGrew, he'll take the snap in the drop, steps up. Here's the pressure. They'll flush him left side. Waves upfield. Now he'll tuck and run. Bryson at the 49-yard line and steps out of bounds there. Good recognition by him to run it left side for the first down for Tuskegee.
McGrew was giving his receiver downfield a hand signal to keep going deep. He had a sense that that left side was going to open up, made the decision to get to the far sideline, did the intelligent thing to get out of bounds.
So that's a first down pickup, and we're down to 1:10 left first half of play. Bryson had that 26-yard touchdown run in his debut. Good run from scrimmage there. High snap, but Bryson handles. He'll set a screen. This time it's Johnny Morris with the football. Johnny steps to the second wave of the defense. Morris at the 40, bangs his way inside the 40. Down at the 37.
Tuskegee sent Devon Cooper in motion. He threw a very important block on that inside screen play. That's the best execution that Tuskegee has had all season on that screen.
And downfield for the Golden Tigers, Damian Clark, the junior, leading that screen play, trying to create some blocks downfield. Did a good job of opening up that second wave for Morris.
We've seen Tuskegee struggle with the screen from time to time. I'm certain they must have gotten some extra reps in the off week to get that play polished up.
Tried it a couple of times already in this football game. Mark, I didn't see it, but there's a flag on the far side of the football field. And they're coming over to this side of the field to talk to head coach Stanley Connor, that is, for the Dragons of Lane College. Coach Connor is his first year at Lane College. And that was a false start by the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee, and that'll nullify that play. Wow. So they'll run it down 10 seconds. And TU will get hit for that procedure call as well. Connor, we remember him. He was a coach at Benedict College for 5 years before coming to Lane College. His relative success at Benedict, about a 41% winning percentage for the Tigers of Benedict. But now I'm trying to see if he can't change some of the magic for the Dragons of Lane College. Aaron James is in his third campaign for Tuskegee. time out on the football field. Just a few seconds before the Crimson Piper Marching Band at homecoming. Obviously, it's going to be an extended homecoming. So Charles McNeil is going to have to do a little bit of extra work this afternoon. You have to go see the payday loan guy about that. From the 35-yard line, this play gets set to resume. Our correction, it'll be at the 40-43. And McGrew and the offense getting set. See if they can't make something happen here before the intermission. Slots either side for the freshman. 3 up front for the Dragons there in prevent. Bryson steps up, but the defense follows him, and they trip him up as he tries to break free left side. They were trying to spread the field, had everybody on a deep pattern downfield. And Tuskegee taking another time out here, trying to reassess where they were on that play and then find something to take advantage of these final 39 seconds and see if they can't get the football down the field.
That's an excellent tackle in the open field by Maxwell Jean-Louis for Lane College. He's running down the quarterback from behind, something you don't see a lot of linebackers do. Made an excellent tackle on that play.
Yeah, but Bruce saw the pressure, tried to get free, but he was caught from behind. So Tuskegee trying to reassess. One thing we don't have to reassess is Gray, Langford, Sapp, McGowan, Gray, Nathanson. Attorneys at law located on the square downtown historic Tuskegee, Alabama. Whether personal injury, wrongful death, civil rights, real estate, or probate situation. Just like the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee University, we are your hometown legal team. Please call us at 334-727-4830. Another one of our One Tuskegee partners here in Tuskegee and Macon County. Glad to have the law firm on our side. Got plenty of more GTSN coverage of Tuskegee athletics, including 2 more football games during this regular season, and start basketball coverage starting this week. Men's action against Talladega to kind of get things started for them. They already played in that Hoops and Culture event in Detroit, and now the first time at Chappie James, middle of this coming week. Also, more volleyball action coming your way. That's scheduled for next Friday. Match that was supposed to take place here this Friday night before homecoming, but it's thought better to go ahead and move it off of the homecoming schedule with so many things scheduled on the campus and the use of Chappie James Arena being front and center in terms of facilities for homecoming. So that ball match rescheduled, and we'll have that coverage for you on GTSN.
We've got a delay of game for drones over the field.
Oh boy.
And so that's why this timeout has been unusually long. We're not competing with any televised game. You got to get the drones out of the way.
Sure. Yeah, it's illegal to fly them over the field during play. I think you can use them if you get permission while in pregame and the like, but not during a game. TU going to roll it left side, and McGrew dumped it out in the flats. Catch made there, but that one much positive yardage. 34 seconds remains first half. TU with a 18-7 lead over the Dragons of Lane College.
Now, given the field position that Tuskegee started this drive with, they just seem to be a little bit sluggish with their play calling. The sequence is just not coming in as crisply as you would like. Players at the line of scrimmage taking a lot more time to get these plays off with this much time remaining.
Third down coming up. 3 receivers to the right of McGrew. Lines up in the shotgun. He'll take the snap. Looks to his right. Trying to set the screen again. Sellers with a one-handed catch, but lost his balance as a result of having to go up for the catch. And that one gets foiled after a loss on that play.
Once again, Tuskegee attempting to run a screen play, but the lineman timing with the running back just seems to be off as the traffic in the middle of the field was just a little bit too much. Lane is really doing an excellent job of stuffing that play for small gains.
Yeah, you almost get the sense that the play calling is premised on the idea we want to score, but not too hard. We don't want to stretch the field and perhaps get an interception. We'll do something safe like maybe a screen pass to see if we can't get some space that way. But Tuskegee going to be forced to punt the football away. And the conference leading punter, Callum Brent, set to kick it away for TU. He'll be trying to coffin corner this one. It's a great job by him of doing that all season long. And he's hit one here right inside the 10. It sprints out of bounds right at the 8-yard line. So I saw Callum earlier during the week, congratulating him on his work in punting and doing a good job for TU. He was in getting treatment inside the training facility. He said, I'm just trying to make my contribution to the team and just being as consistent as I can. And he has certainly done that for the Golden Tigers.
Done an excellent job. Now, what Lane has proven to Tuskegee is that they can complete the long ball. They've just given them something to think about on this next possession. Note how deep the safeties for Tuskegee are lined up, about 20 yards off the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I got beat on the long play for the Dragons' lone touchdown in his first half. And they'll keep it on the ground. Straight ahead, spinning is Tupelo with the football, and he spins his way to the 20-yard line.
Clock temporarily stops as the first down markers are adjusted. Lane already back to the line of scrimmage, ready to snap the football.
17 seconds left first half. On the ground again they go. Trying to string it toward the sideline. Good open field tackle there. Tuskegee on that stop. It was Tamarcus Grayson. And that'll bring us to the end of this first half of play here at Homecoming 2025. Tuskegee got an early lead, and they lead it here at the break, 18-7 over the Dragons of Lane College. SIAC action, TU trying to up its season mark from that 2-6 and trying to keep the Dragons of Lane College winless. We'll take a break here on GTSN. Charles McNeil coming in with our halftime show. Back with more football action after that on GTSN.
Broadcast coverage of Golden Tigers athletics is brought to you by the following. The U.S. Coast Guard, always ready. Booster Digital Displays, dedicated to providing high-quality, affordable LED displays with exceptional service. Alabama Power, for the service of Alabama. TNT Fireworks, celebrating more than 100 years of America's #1 best-selling brand of fireworks. Yellowwood, a better backyard awaits. Home Depot, how doers get more done. Utilities Board of Tuskegee, purpose, progress, people. Coca-Cola, enjoy the moment with a Coca-Cola. Tuskegee Federal Credit Union, serving the people of Tuskegee and the surrounding community since 1938. TLAT Media, step by step, TLAT Media makes your business grow. And by Advertising Solutions, from concept to conversion, we are your advertising solution.
And we welcome you to the Golden Tigers Halftime Report presented by Alabama Power. Charles McNeil in the press box for Homecoming 2025, the 101st homecoming here, and a sea of TU alum all over Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium. And definitely beyond that as well, throughout the grounds, there's nothing but folks as far and as wide as you can see as they prepare themselves for what should be a great halftime celebration as the Crimson Piper Marching Band set to perform for your listening pleasure. Your halftime score, Tuskegee 18, Lane College 7. Ian Nation, 45-yard touchdown reception, and Jermaine Hardy Jr. also with a touchdown reception. Bryson McGrew, the Mac Daddy, with the passing touchdowns, his first start since his incomplete performance down at Albany State, but definitely a strong performance, of course, coming off of the game played in his home stadium in Montgomery. So speaking of Montgomery, big time fun had by the Montgomery faithful as we had an opportunity to spend time with them. The alumni chapter from Montgomery, as TU recognized them as our Golden Tiger Sports Network Alumni Chapter Challenge champions. Congratulations goes out to Janet Mann and her entire 75 strong that were in attendance, and we celebrated them. And we continue to celebrate greatness here at Tuskegee under the direction of Dr. Mark Brown. The Renaissance era has begun. This is the 15th meeting between the Golden Tigers and Lane in recent memory. 13-1, the record for Tuskegee during that stretch. Earlier this season, Tuskegee defeated Central State in their lone home win here, 34-0. That's the only win this season, and not since then have we had this type of performance in an opening half of play. Running, passing, all working extremely well. And as I mentioned, Bryson McGrew, his third start of the season, the Montgomery native, just a short stone's throw from his home down here at Tuskegee, getting it done and getting it done oh so well. Last season, Tuskegee defeated Lane 27-17 in a game you heard right here on GTSN. So they're looking to continue their winning ways, looking for their 14th victory in 15 matchups. But right now, without further delay, let's let you hear from the stars of our show, the Crimson Piper Marching Band, as they perform for you Halftime 2025.
Ladies and gentlemen, watch as our elegant and sophisticated operettes get down to I Really Didn't Mean It by Luther Vandross. Ladies and gentlemen, the Pirates.
The Crimson Piper Marching Band entertaining the crowd here in attendance at Cleve L. Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium. What a fantastic sight it is, and I'm so pleased to be joined by a gentleman that you saw on our cast throughout the entire season thus far. He helped to hype things up with our Alumni Challenge. He is the New York chapter president of the Tuskegee University Alumni Club in that New York area. A.J. Woodson joins us, and welcome to the show.
Welcome. Thank you.
Man, we had a lot of fun with you all season long, and your team was extremely active each and every week, giving us score predictions, giving us trivia questions. What did you like about the trivia challenge?
The biggest thing that I loved about the challenge was the ability to get more people involved with athletics and school spirit in general. Tuskegee is known for its fan base, and I'm glad that the chapter challenge was able to that because people know the shed, but they need to know that we are global and we're ready at all times.
Yeah, speaking of that, you guys are so active up in New York in terms of providing funding back to the school in which you love. How did that begin for you in terms of your early days of Tuskegee? How did you find out about the school and ultimately come here and matriculate?
So my story is a unique one that I think I'm originally born and raised in Tuskegee. My family has worked at the university for years. So for me, this is home. It's always been home. It's always been family. And even going to school here, I was even further indoctrinated. So just in general, this place means a lot to me, and I want to make sure that it endures because I understood and understand the vision of the people that put it down: Booker T. Washington, Lewis Adams, George Washington Carver, and so on.
So speaking of the beginnings of Tuskegee and the heritage, of course, that it passes not only this area in which you're from, but also up north where you reside now. Talk a little bit about how you embrace that and bring love of the South up north.
It was fairly easy. Once I started doing a lot of research, the connection in general of the North for Tuskegee, just Booker T. Washington from the early days, the board always met there. A lot of the board members were from the New York area. The money was there. That's where he visited often. Once I started digging into the history, I understood that there was an actual connection. So everything else was easy because of the connection that was already there, that was put there before me.
I know there's a number of New York alums that may not be a part of the chapter. How can they get involved and how can they contribute back to Mother Tuskegee?
They can always visit our website at NewYorkTuskegeeAlumni.com, join, donate, and we have a lot of different events going on that you can support from afar.
And how often do you guys get together as a group to either do watch parties like you did for us,
Right.
or just in general, just to connect and network?
We're making it our mission to have a goal of at least 2 events per season: summer, spring, winter, fall. To have 2 social events, and then we're also trying to implement some service projects as well.
Okay, awesome. So again, your next event, when will that be? Do you know? Have you set a date?
We don't have a date yet, but our next event will more than likely be in the spring. That we'll probably do a social event of some sort. May involve some art, maybe it may involve some other HBCUs, but just be on the lookout. You can follow us on all of our social media, New York Tuskegee Alumni, and you can find us and you'll know what we got going on.
And final thing, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask, what's on your plate when you come to homecoming that makes you feel like you're back at home?
For me, it's a lot. There's always some gumbo. There's always a good hamburger, a good hot dog, and you got to have some ribs.
There you go. A.J. Woodson, nice enough to join us. He's the New York chapter president of the Tuskegee Alumni Association. Thank you so much for your time and all you do for Mother Tuskegee.
Thank y'all for having me.
All right. That's our first guest. We've got another one on the way. Of course, it's halftime. Our halftime continues. 18-7 is our score, with Tuskegee out in front over Lane College. And Lane, they have not won a game this season, and they'll be hard-pressed to beat Tuskegee in the second half. Now, we have had second-half struggles, so the key for Coach James is to get his team continue to stay focused on what drove them in that first half. A lot of running and some timely passing to get us the scores that we need. And we'll welcome in another guest in just a moment. We'll have her join us as well. Again, we talked about the Crimson Piper Marching Band, the spirited performance that they had with the Piperettes. They showed out, and the shed is packed to capacity. I'll tell you what, everybody is excited and looking forward to what's to come with the fifth quarter. And obviously, as you heard the guys mention, this is the world's largest cookout. You know, you heard of the world's largest cocktail party that they do down in Jacksonville. It's coming to an end coming up because of some renovations in Jacksonville. But we're holding it down for everybody in the Southeast. And joining me right now is Lakeisha Ligon. She is the president of the Columbus Phoenix City chapter of the Tuskegee Alumni Association. Glad to meet you. I'm Charles. Yes, my pleasure. Let's talk a little bit about your chapter. We just visited with AJ about the New York chapter, and he's born and raised in the Tuskegee area. Let's start with your beginnings. Where did you where are you from originally? Are you a native of either Phoenix City or Columbus?
Yes, I am a native of Phoenix City, Alabama. Just so happy to be there and so close in proximity to Tuskegee and its rich culture.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, when did you first find out about that culture and that history of you? Was it something that was taught to you in elementary school or something you picked up in high school or along the way?
Actually, I had a cousin who actually went here, and she brought me here when I was 12 years old, and I fell in love with the campus and just how friendly and how family oriented everyone was, and how they accepted me as a 12-year-old just walking the campus. And it was back then, it was coming home during basketball season. So she brought me to that game and to those festivities, and she allowed me to see what actually happens on campus.
And then from there, what did you decide? Did you decide right then, I'm coming to Tuskegee, if nothing else, opportunity lent itself that drew your attention?
From that point on, I decided I was going to be in the business house because she was in the business house. She was also a member of Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated, which I did have the opportunity to pledge. So I followed everything that she did.
Her footsteps, yeah.
Yes.
And then what did you do since then in terms of, obviously you're continuing to give back to your school because obviously as chapter president, you're bringing people together. Talk a little bit about that role itself. How long have you been the chapter president, and what are some of the things that you guys are doing for Mother Tuskegee?
Okay, so I have been the president since 2016. I had a long term there. I also serve as the first regional assistant director for the Southeast region. So just continuing to give back. My chapter is a little special because we were the chapter to host and plan out the Tuskegee Morehouse Classic for so many years that many alums did not know that that was a alum fundraiser for the Columbus Phoenix City chapter for us to start and complete and continue to pour into our endowment that we house here at Tuskegee University.
Yeah, that's a big endowment as well, all those years and all that success. And was it bittersweet for you to see it then move up north to Birmingham, then over to Montgomery?
Yes, it was bittersweet because of the history and the legacy and the reason behind why that classic was actually there in Columbus, Georgia, based on the Fort Benning and based on making sure that our soldiers had somewhere to see outside of those games that they could not.
Yeah, I love that part of it. Lakeisha Lakin joins us. Of course, she's the chapter president for Columbus and Phoenix City. And yeah, I did a little research myself and included it in one of our pregame shows just to let people know what the meaning of that whole event was. And it was just to give us some entertainment as African-American soldiers and our families in a situation at that time where we couldn't get out to be in that mainstream. So I thought that was fantastic and certainly something that you should be extremely proud of, and I know you are.
Yes.
So how often do you guys get together as a group, and what are some of the things that you, in terms of fundraising now that you don't have the classic there?
Oh, so some of the things that we do, which we did have the opportunity for it to come back last year, and then now it went away, but we do scholarship brunches, and we kind of make sure that our local alums, we just make sure that they give to Mother Tuskegee as well as to us. And we have a lot of giving alums that are local in the Phoenix City, Columbus area. So we're really excited. We don't have to do a whole lot. People pay their dues. And we were able to partner with the Phoenix City mayor, Mayor Eddie Lowe, and we have a second endowment here housed at Tuskegee University. So we raised money to start that endowment as well. About 2017, like my first or second year of me being the president. So we were able to start a second endowment, which that one is doing as well.
That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. So I think in terms of last year, the 100th, and how many people, they said upwards of 50,000, maybe not that many this year, but still there's folks everywhere you see. What does that do to you as an alum and someone who's adored the school since they were 12?
So every time I come and step foot on campus, it's like home. You never meet a stranger, and everyone is so welcoming. So whether it's a big or small, we are all here to celebrate Mother Tuskegee, and we make the best out of every situation, and we're still having a blast. So, yes.
Oh, yeah, it's a good look. And final thing I have for you before the homecoming king and queen are crowned here, and that is, what is on your plate when you come back home to Tuskegee on homecoming weekend? What do you have to have? What's mandatory?
Oh, okay. So what's mandatory, my sister-in-law sandwiches from heaven above. I don't know. I don't want any breakfast. I just want sandwiches. But besides those sandwiches, we have fish, we have ribs, we have sausage, we have everything, and then we have the maximum spaghetti bake that everyone comes across and comes and get a piece of a spoonful of our spaghetti bake.
Spoonful of goodness.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Certainly
Yes.
a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Continued success in all that you guys are doing for Mother Tuskegee.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, that's our halftime show. Lakeisha Ligon finishes us off. She's the chapter president for Columbus and Phoenix City. Appreciate her being a part of what we do here, and we'll get you back to the world's largest cookout coming up in just a little bit. The Golden Tigers halftime report comes to a close thanks to our friends at Alabama Power. Your halftime score, Tuskegee 18, Lane 7. Charles and Mark will be back with the play-by-play call right after this.
I grew up coming out to this land. There's just something special about it. I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's really important to me.
Game Day Live continues right now. This is the Standard, and you can see who is the Standard. The Montgomery chapter of the Tuskegee University Alumni Association. Joining us right now is Janet Mann. She is the president, and congratulations on your victory.
Thank you so very much.
Now tell me, what did it take for you guys to win this thing over these last 9 weeks?
A lot of sleepless nights, early mornings, and a lot of prayer.
Prayer answers everything, right? And this came in handy for you. So what will it take for you guys to repeat? You held off 9 other competitors to win this thing. What will it take for you to come back and repeat next year?
It would be wonderful if I can make sure I keep the club going. However, we'll have to see if we can do the repeat. And it will also take a lot of more prayers, more late nights, and especially teamwork.
And we are back live here at Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium, getting set for second half action. Tuskegee getting the better half of the first 30 minutes. They lead it 18-7 over the Dragons of Lane College. Mark, quick look at the stats from that first half. I know something's jumping right out at you.
You know, I usually go to time of possession. One thing that jumps out, Lane actually dominated time of possession, 16 minutes, 21 seconds to Tuskegee's 13-13. If it wasn't for the 65-yard bomb to Marcarius Johnson, Lane wouldn't have any points, but they dominate the time of possession. A very strange stat.
Yeah, when you showed it to me, I was surprised by that as well. You're just looking at the game, you would think TU was definitely ahead in that category, but they are ahead in the category that matters most. They lead at 18-7 as you get set for the second half at Homecoming 2025. Charles Ward, Mark Lassiter here with the call. Thanks to Charles McNeil for handling our pregame show and at halftime. Motley Crew going to be with you for a couple of more weeks of football. After this one, it's Miles College, and then over the Thanksgiving week, it's Alabama State, the Turkey Day Classic.
You know, Miles claims that it has one of the largest cookout setups in the SIAC, so Miles and Tuskegee have a bit of a competition going on for that title.
Indeed, you're right. Former AD over there, Gus James, always treats us extremely nice when we're over there for their homecoming. And we're set for second half action in this homecoming. Cooper going to pick it up on the bounce, and Devin steps right out of bounds near the 21-yard line. They'll put him out at the 22 to get second half football action started. Glad you can join us for our coverage of Tuskegee Athletics. GTSN, operated by the Tuskegee Athletics Department. Full support from the administration at Tuskegee University. Glad to be able to bring you all the coverage of Tuskegee athletics we can. So third quarter action, the Golden Tigers set to go on offense first. They go right to left in the third, and they lead it 18-7. The freshman, Bryson McGrew, he'll take the snap. They'll go right side. Johnny Morris looking for some space. Johnny wrapped up from behind as he was trying to turn the corner. Second time we've seen that play from that Dragon defense, Mark. They are pretty quick to cover the backside of the field, if you will, with the linebackers.
And Johnny Morris, who's actually been one of the bright spots for Tuskegee's offense all season, really dependable running back, got shut down on that play. But Morris has been consistently in top 20 running backs for the SIAC.
Yeah, right now it came in this weekend at number 15, but a staple there. And on a second down play here, TU with it from the 22. McGrew got pressure. He'll slide to his left, looking upfield now, trying to get a man behind the coverage. Bryson will have to run it out of bounds. He'll run it out near the 27-yard line. Had some one-on-one coverage downfield. He was trying to see if he could free it downfield, trying to get the receiver to get behind the defense, but Malik Thomas not quite able to do that. He was doing, as you referenced, almost every week, Mark, trying to come back toward McGrew, recognizing that Bryson was in a bit of a trouble.
Gabriel Garman was also trying to break open, working against Frederick Lewis Jr., but in midfield, Lewis Jr. and Garman got tangled up, and Lewis was giving him a bit of the business right in front of the lane bench on the sideline, about 5 yards out of bounds.
Third down coming here for the Golden Tigers. Third and about 5 as Nation goes in motion right side, so they'll finish with trips that way. McGrew looks that way now, checks off, and he'll roll left side. Tucks it, runs, slides, dives near the 40, and that's enough for the TU first down.
McGrew maintains a lot of the habits that he had as a high school standout quarterback. Very decisive that time on the run. Saw no one open on the short drop. Decided to take it himself, picking up another first down for Tuskegee.
Yeah, making some good decisions in this football game. And he'll get this one out to Garman at the sideline, and Gabriel doubled over there as they push him out of bounds. Pickup of about 3 on that first down play.
As Garman and Frederick Lewis getting tangled up again. Lewis wears number 11, a very feisty quarterback for Lane. He's 6'0", 170. Not as big as Garman, but he's been in Garman's space on the last 2 plays.
Football at the 43. Same route out toward the sideline. Nation catches it, and Ian out of bounds after another pickup of about 2-3 on that pass play.
As we've seen from time to time, this is one of those sequences, Charles, where Tuskegee is getting into a bit of an offensive rhythm. Their plays just at a quicker tempo. Like to see if they can keep up this pace on this drive.
It's a third down and about 2, so the 2 previous receptions makes it a third and short, exactly where they want to be. Call that on time and on schedule. And they are right where they want to be on this third down. Haven't seen that much during the course of the year, but displayed well so far on this drive starting the second half. McGrew going to go upfield this time and shoots it past Garman in double coverage near the 35. So that's kind of where the breakdown is. You get those 2 plays back-to-back where you pick up 3 and 4 yards. You make it a third and manageable, and then you shoot it downfield in double coverage on what was likely an easy run play, another short route to get the first.
He was trying to get Garman working against Frederick Lewis again, and Lewis didn't have to do much on the play, but he was still chirping after that ball was overthrown all the way to the sideline right below us of Lane Dragons.
Yeah, I've been watching the World Series since it started, and one of the things that's impressed me the most with it is John Smoltz and his just pitch calling and knowing what to throw in certain situations and where to throw the baseball. Here with football is that it's timing in terms of when you throw a pass as they go on a fourth down play here, and they get wrapped up on a fake punt there, and Tuskegee not able to get to the line needed for the first down at midfield, so it's a short field now for the Dragon offense.
Excellent recovery that time by Levante Richardson, the strong safety for Lane. Did an excellent job of diagnosing that play, getting to the line of scrimmage, making the tackle. Actually, that was a bit of a loss for Tuskegee, trying to run a bit of trickeration on the fake punt. But as it stands, Lane will take over in Tuskegee territory.
So the statement made by Tuskegee, that is, if we don't get it on fourth, we think we can stop you defensively. But the Dragons, they've had the long ball for a touchdown. They'll have a short field to work with here from the 48 of Tuskegee.
Now, this is not a time of game where you want to get too cute with
Absolutely.
Lane. They've shown the ability to score long distance.
As you often say, you better get out of my head, because that's exactly what I was thinking. Right side of that defense and a bang play up front by Christian on the ground. Pickup of almost 8 on that carry.
And you know what's funny, Charles? It doesn't take much to spark a team. Now, this is Lane. Let's reset. This is an 0-8 Lane. They don't have anything to lose but this game, and they're coming in. They feel like they're still in striking distance. They have the taste of scoring on one big play. They're all of a sudden in Tuskegee territory at the 40-yard line.
And almost a gift from Tuskegee to be there. Phillips, they go on the ground, right side, got some space, and turning the corner. Judd on that carry for the Dragons and Lane College was Brandon. And Brandon running it close to the sticks for a first down.
Got a decent spot on the near sideline. And as you mentioned, Lane with some momentum now picks up another first down on this drive. They're going to probably lean on their run game a few more plays before they decide to put it up, but they've been effective so far. That first down is really important.
And they are at the 38 of Tuskegee. Phillips lines up in shotgun. Misdirection, they go straight up the middle. Christian creating the contact, is lowering his head and got it to the 34-yard line.
You know, I know we have a typo on the lineup. Big number 78, Anthony Wilson Jr., was a lineman for Lane, listed at 6'5", 225. I think that's a 6'5", 325 that should be.
You're looking at him, no doubt about it.
But he's playing right tackle, right guard, sealing off that inside.
On the ground, they try to run it his way. This time there's no traction on that play. TU shut that one down at the line.
Wilson got stood up. Great call by you on that last play. Tuskegee with excellent penetration.
So that'll bring up a third down here for the Dragons of Lane College. They'll be at the 33 of Tuskegee. .9:24 left in the third.
Unlike Tuskegee, Lane gets their hand signals from the sideline in the huddle. Tuskegee gets theirs at the line of scrimmage.
They come to the line of scrimmage. It looks like we're going to have a timeout. I think, Coach Connor and the Dragons are going to take the timeout. Obviously did not like what he saw at the line of scrimmage, and they want to reset and think about that one.
Here's what's funny. Connor understands the opportunity he has with this turnover on the failed attempt by Tuskegee. He feels his offense, if they can convert on this first down, they'll be in excellent position to put another score on the board.
Indeed. You want to make sure you've got exactly what you intend to run when you come to this line of scrimmage, as you reference a big play here from scrimmage.
I didn't realize Stanley Connor was a former player at Jackson State University. He's known for his recruiting and talent development. And if there's anything that Lane College needs, is recruiting and talent development.
Sure. He was part of that big transition at Benedict as well when they went from the cellar to heavy competition and then winning back-to-back SIAC titles. He was part of that legacy over there to make that happen. So after the timeout, Billups will go into a pistol formation. Got a man in motion. Ball fake there. Upfield, they got a check down over there. Got a man over at the sideline. Good call by them. And streaking toward the sideline and down the sideline. And did he get in? I think they're going to put him out near the goal line on just a check down pitch to out of the backfield. Good call there by Coach Connor out of that timeout. They got the space, had everybody, the defense of Tuskegee, looking upfield, and they had the check down with the running back, something we were longing for Tuskegee to kind of implement a lot more this season, but the Dragons run that extremely well.
Once he hit the corner about the 15-yard line, I'd like to see it show that change of speed, gave a little bit of a high step, accelerated, got almost to the end zone.
On the ground, they go cut right. He'll push it left side. Tuskegee trying to deny him. They push him toward the sideline down near the 5. They had that initial mark of Brandon down at the 1 foot yard line, but they ruled he stepped out near the 5. So it'll be 2nd and goal to go there for the Dragons of Lane College.
Now this 2nd and goal, Charles, looks innocent, but this is a important play call. Lane could go into its passing game or its run game, but they want to be productive by at least 3 or 4 yards.
Yeah, on this 2nd down play. Billups on the ground. They go straight ahead to Christian. Christian trying to fight for that end zone. They stand him up near the 1, and that's where they'll mark him down there. And as you reference, Mark, they got a good burst from the line of scrimmage, the Dragons do, and they make it a manageable 3rd down and goal to go at about the 1.
You could see the pile moving as Tuskegee wasn't able to get any penetration. Nice surge by the Lane offensive line, bringing up this 3rd and goal from about the 1.
Now that opens up a lot of options for that Dragon offense to try to either muscle it through in the middle or to work the corners with the speed backs that they have. They'll line up in shotgun. Billups joined by Christian in the backfield. Set to go quickly. High snap. They get it on the ground. Christian banks through right side. And the Dragons, just like that, they cut the Golden Tiger lead. So the Dragons of Lane College take advantage of the gift that they were given by the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee, who went for it on a 4th down play on their side of the 50. And the Dragons able to cash in a short field for a touchdown.
We talked about the Tuskegee team being in strange territory, being 2-6. Now all of a sudden, the complexion of this game has changed as Lane has put a touchdown on the board, bringing them within 1 score.
Indeed. Not what you wanted coming out of that break. Not giving it to them that way. Dragons now trying to go for 2 here after the touchdown. Snap to Billups on the ground. They'll go right side, and Christian runs into a TU wall right side, and the 2-point conversion denied by that Golden Tiger defense. But the Dragons score the touchdown, taking it that short distance from just on the Tuskegee side of the 50 to cut the deficit to 18-13, and we'll take a break on GTSN.
Hello, Tuskegee fans. My name is Johnny Morris III, running back at Tuskegee University, and this is the Golden Tiger Sports Network.
Back live at Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium, Dragons of Lane College cash in with a touchdown. Tuskegee lead now 18-13, and we're at 7:14 left in the 3rd.
You know, being the former track man that you are, you know.
Really? Where'd you get that information?
You know that the longer you let someone in pursuit stay on your shoulder, they become more dangerous. Lane is hanging around.
Indeed they are. That touchdown looms large for them. On a run back, it's Cooper at the 20. He's got a wall there if he can get one more block. Got one there, but tripped up from behind. He'll land there near the 35-yard line. The flag's coming in at the back of that play.
Something to look for as the psychology of this game has suddenly changed in this 3rd quarter as the flag lays right at the 35-yard line. Discipline of these teams is going to be really important. Lane is starting to feel themselves. Tuskegee is on the defensive.
Indeed, you're right, and all because of that attempt at that 4th down, the swing momentum, at least on the field at this point. We got an injured Dragon down near the 28-yard line. They're sitting him up. Meanwhile, the officials on the other side of the field discussing that flag.
I'm going to go out on a limb, Charles. The team that plays the cleanest game in the second half will be the team that wins.
Well, that's one of the things you referenced at the top of the broadcast as well, and it definitely looms true here in the second half. Dragon player up and headed toward the sideline. Quintavian Carter, the freshman from Bundridge, Alabama, he's up into the Lane sideline. It's good for him and for Lane College. Meanwhile, on the other side of the field, officials right now have the football marked near the 18-yard line.
You can see the Lane defense early on the field. They understand the assignment. See if they can hold Tuskegee on this end of the field. Tuskegee, their assignment, pick up 1 first down. See if they can get back into establishing that offensive rhythm again.
Yeah, they had it with the short routes toward the sideline, then broke it with a pass down the seam that went incomplete and broke that rhythm. We'll see if they go back to the short sets with the receivers. 3 to the bottom of the screen or to the left of McGrew as TU goes right to left. They keep it on the ground, right side. Good surge there by Zena Mulba for Tuskegee. And Zena up to the 21-yard line on the carry.
On the snap, Frederick Lewis, who was matched up against Gabriel Garman on the near sideline, he was about 5 yards in press coverage off of Garman, but at the snap, he backed off, centered his body position more to the center of the field. So, again, that matchup is going to be one to watch. Garman against Lewis.
McGrew appears the sideline for the call. He's joined by Mulba in the backfield. Same set, 3 receivers to his left. Dragons packing the box on the ground. Mulba turns his back to the defense, now got some forward progress, works it up near the 24-yard line. Well, that's going to bring up a quick 3rd down for TU, 3rd and almost a full 5.
Let's put a pin in this next play call, Charles, with 6:02 remaining in this 3rd quarter.
Got to get it to the 28 for the first. Lone in the backfield this time is McGrew. 3 up front for the Dragons, showing prevent. They're going to want to try to keep everything in front of them. We're at 5:37 left in the 3rd quarter. McGrew with the play from the sideline. Quick clap and the snap. Pressure, fire to the sideline. Yeah, the ball knocked free. They had a receiver there behind the sticks. It was Preston Parker, but the defense of the Dragons knocked it free from behind.
Excellent play that time by Tyler Tillman. Let me correct that. I'm going to give that to Ryan Gilmore. Defensive lineman was out there in coverage, got a hand in on that last pass.
Yeah, Parker had it, tried to pull it in toward his chest, but the defense put the hands in there and pushed it out for the incompletion. Now that'll bring up Callum Brent to punt it away. Only Callum's 2nd punt attempt of this football game. Pressure, and Callum trying to turn it over. Backpedaling and fumbling the football, and it's loose, but able to hang on to it for the Dragons of Lane College is Josh Johnson. Johnson with the touchdown catch for them. And there, bobbled that punt, but able to cover it right at the 35.
He did an excellent job of recovering that punt after he put it on the turf as he was getting contacted in the back. So
that's a nice call. All of that.
Diminutive Johnson, who's only 5'7", 160, took a shot, but his hands stayed active and alive enough to recover that muff punt.
And indeed, you're right. Just jumped right on it, didn't allow it to bounce, and just was able to get it right up under his body. So the Dragons will keep it. And they'll have it with 5:16 left in the 3rd. Tuskegee's lead cut now to 18-13. Phillips will keep it on the ground. They're trying to find space in the inside, but just denied up front. Christian tried to put his head down, but he ran right into Devin Irving for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee.
Lane has a receiver that's really dependable to Javion Brothers. He's 5'10", 174. I was watching him in pregame warm-up. There's some receivers seem naturally able to catch the ball. He was cradling the football as he was receiving passes. We'll watch number 80.
On effort here. Pitch to the short side of the field. Trying to find space there and runs out of bounds is Brandon. She went short side of the field, and Grayson able to push him out of bounds for the Tuskegee defense.
Now, we talked about important 3rd down calls for Tuskegee. Here's an important 3rd down call for Lane. This 3rd and about 5 to go for the 1st.
And the clock running with 4:10 left in the 3rd. Football at the right hash mark. Dragons going left to right on your listening device. Got to get it to the 45 for a fresh set of downs. Phillips trying to bring the receiver to his left. Johnson obliges. Now they have three that way. Snap high, but he handles. Pumps once, pressure, unloads, and may have a flag here. Irvin on the coverage, and we will. Yeah, Irvin trying to cover Damari Wallace, the junior, and Vaughn riding him as he was working toward the sideline.
Irving did an excellent job of getting his right hand around the receiver. The problem was his left hand was hooking him as he was in coverage. It appears that Lane will get the benefit of the call, which will give them a first down. We'll see the referees sorting it out right at the 35-yard line.
So that the foul was not called on Irvin. They called it instead on Jaden Brown for Tuskegee. But it's a first down for the Dragons nonetheless from their own 41. Phillips with the snap on the ground. They're trying to get it to Christian at the corner. He's wrapped up there by Irving and slung out of bounds. No gain on that play. Von Irving just having some fun out there for Tuskegee, though, all over the field defensively. And he is showing his homecoming celebration after every play he makes on the field. Just that kind of player. Even in the ball game we had here at Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium a couple of weeks ago, when it was clear that Tuskegee was not going to win, right to the final seconds, he came out with energy, still trying to exhort his team on. And given the situation where Tuskegee is very disappointed about where they are season-wise, that's the kind of presence you need on the field. Second down for the Dragons. They get a lead blocker in this time for Christian as he works it left side. He follows that block, but wrapped up nicely by guess who? Irving, working from the left side of the Tuskegee defense, goes all the way over to the right to make that tackle for no gain.
Irving makes the tackle, pounds both fists on the side of his helmet, gesturing to his sideline. He's trying to do everything he can to keep his team in the game and fired up. He understands that defense is going to be key if Tuskegee has thoughts of winning this football game that Lane is challenging in.
Yeah, trying to make this whole spirit he's got contagious to not only his team, but to give these fans something to re-engage in this football game. TU leading at 18-13. But the momentum on the field in favor of the Dragons at this point. They face a 3rd down and 8. Rolling right side now, trying to break the contain is Phillips. He'll raise, pump it upfield, got a man at the sideline. Catch going to be made at the 47-yard line, and that is enough for a Dragon first down. Good
Excellent
job
catch.
there.
Marquise Johnson right at the yard marker, right below us in front of the Lane bench. Made the catch, got both feet in bounds. Only need to get one in bounds, but did a good job getting both feet in bounds, picking up that first down for the Lane Dragons.
And one of the things you were referencing in the pregame when you were down at field level watching the quarterbacks for Lane warm up, one of the things you noticed you said about Phillips was that he just didn't seem to have a very strong arm. But with the way they run this offense, he really doesn't need a very strong arm. He's just been able to find his spots by scrambling to get receivers free and then dumping it. Save that one long touchdown pass that he threw perfectly. 1st and 10. He'll roll. Now leaves behind for Christian. Christian tripped up at the line of scrimmage. Good job there by Grayson. Tamarcus Grayson this time on the trip of Christian left side.
Tamarcus Grayson got that big right forearm in just in time to trip up the running back who was cutting back against the grain, trying to find space right at the 45.
Yeah, well-designed play there by Coach Connor and the Dragon offensive staff because that lane was open. But Tamarcus did a good job of getting in and making the trip.
Now, to your point about the Lane quarterback, Phillips doesn't have one of those big cannon arms, but I'm sure the wide receivers appreciate that. It's a catchable ball.
Sure, it makes it a lot easier. 2nd down and 10. Phillips with a straight drop this time. Steps up in the pocket, dumps it again over the line of scrimmage. Legs from tripped under the receiver, which is Demarion Collins. Collins falls ahead for 2.
That last pass by Phillips was almost like he was shooting a ping pong ball into a cup. He
Yep.
just pushed it out into the open space about 7 yards beyond the line of scrimmage.
It reminds me of that same pass to Macarius Johnson for the first down. He just kind of, as you say, lofting a ping pong ball in a cup. We've come to the end of the third quarter here at Homecoming 2025. The Golden Tigers of Tuskegee hosting the Dragons of Lane College. TU leads at 18-13. Take a break. We're back with the fourth after this on GTSN.
C-SPY is a prestigious scholarship, a world-class leadership training program, and a ticket to a rewarding career as an officer in the United States Coast Guard. C-SPY is an opportunity for students attending minority-serving institutions that goes beyond paying for 2 years of tuition and other college expenses. Once accepted, you'll be a member of the Coast Guard, earning a full-time salary, plus medical benefits and a housing allowance. While continuing your full-time studies, you'll get to learn about life in the Coast Guard firsthand. You'll quickly find that the Coast Guard is unique from the other military branches. It's a different kind of service, with crews of like-minded people who perform life-saving missions every day and protect our environment and communities. If you're ready to step up as a leader and help us make the world a better place, then visit gocoastguard.com/CSPI to learn more or talk to a recruiter.
We get set to head in the fourth here on GTSN. Charles Ward, Mark Lassiter, an outstanding production crew working remotely today. Homecoming 2025, Tuskegee leading at 18-13 as we go into the fourth. So we flip the field. Dragons go right to left in the final 15 minutes. They have it at the 45 of Tuskegee. Phillips, he'll take a snap, straight drop. They're trying to set a screen. Now they flush him to his left. Trying to catch up with him. He raises, floats one, and this one goes incomplete near the 27. TU almost about to get that hand on him behind the line of scrimmage, but Phillips able to scramble free, and that'll bring up a fourth down on the incompletion.
Devon Irving Jr. chasing down Phillips just as he was delivering the football. He lost his helmet. Fortunate that ball wasn't more off target. Got it off just in time, but that was a dangerous throw with the linebacker closing on his back.
He unloads it, and it goes incomplete. Dragons will have to punt it, we believe. I've not seen their punting unit in this football game, so likely if they don't punt it, they're going to maybe bring in, as you referenced, a quarterback with a stronger arm. It looks like it's going to be Sky Forrest coming in on this fourth down play. So likely what they're thinking is, if we don't get a long touchdown bomb, we'll maybe throw an interception. It'll be just like a punt. At the line of scrimmage, flags thrown in there.
Time to time you see a new signal caller. False start against Lane.
There you go, yeah.
Watching Scott Forrest in pregame warm-ups. He's 6'5", 230. I thought he'd be better served warming up with the linebackers and offensive linemen, but he has a cannon for an arm.
So that'll push him back to midfield. It looks like a reassessment. They're going to punt it this time. Roca will come back and punt this football away. So look, they had a different set. I'm considering going for it had they not gotten that 5-yard assessment with the stronger arm of Forrest in there. But now they'll punt it. Before they do that, Tuskegee takes a timeout.
Forrest sees his first time on the field and then doesn't get to touch the football.
It's like, why did I go out here?
Came to the sideline, just took his helmet off.
Oh, boy.
That was a waste of
Yeah,
time.
that was a bust. But to your point, the reason a lot of times that's the case is because you got a new quarterback coming in there when the cadence and the signal calling of the quarterback prior is different, and you just hear a different voice, and it sometimes throws that rhythm of the offensive line off.
Great point. Lane had an excellent opportunity. They will go into punt formation very close to Tuskegee territory. So I think that Stanley Connor, the head coach of Lane, is feeling that if he can get a decent punt off, he can pin Tuskegee's offense inside their own 20 and let his defense take over and do some work.
Roca on the punt it. It'll be E.J. Hall back to receive it for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. E.J., the number 4 punt returner in the SIAC. He'll await. Had some trouble with the Last punt bobbled it. They're trying to turn it over. EJ will let this one bounce at the 23, and it heads back upfield near the 34-yard line where the Dragons collect it there, and Tuskegee will start from their own 34.
Roca got off a mediocre kick that was hindered by the poor bounce that he got back in his direction. Had that ball hit going towards the Tuskegee end zone, they might have gotten the ball closer to the 20. As it stands, Tuskegee has a decent spot to start this next drive.
Just underway here in the fourth. 14:40 left in homecoming 2025. Tuskegee trying to break a 6-game losing skid. From the 33. McGrew has Nation headed in motion. Now they'll go back the other way. He'll keep it on the ground. Bryson trying to turn the corner. Stiff arms one player, but they chase him out of bounds near the 37-yard line. That's a good first down play for that Tuskegee offense.
Is it just my imagination, or has McGrew become more aggressive with his running game than he was in the first half? Going more now, if he doesn't see an opening for a receiver, he's instantly taking off and running it himself.
No, you are not a part of the Temptations. It's not your imagination. Yeah, he is a lot more aggressive about that as this game's unfolding. And as you referenced, that's what's kind of one of his marquee elements in high school, the ability to run the football. And we noticed it right away when he started that first game for us, that the element of the run from the quarterback was something that we were missing in Raekwon Bill. He got 6 on that play, so it's 2nd down and 4. Snap to McGrew, quick hitting pass out the Nation in the flats. Nation with a blocker in front of him. Ian takes advantage of that, sidesteps the sideline for a moment, worked his way up near the 46, more than enough for the Tuskegee first. When Tuskegee stays in this type rhythm, they are a lot more effective.
Jersey Chubb, the linebacker for Lane, getting an earful from one of his coaches on the sideline, feeling that Chubb should have undercut that run, taking a different angle. As it stands, Tuskegee first.
Did you say Jersey Chubb? Boy, what a football name. Huh?
Jersey Chubb. Not to be confused with Jersey Mike.
Mike, I know. They go to Nation this time on the other side of the field with a short pass out in the flats, but this time the Dragons right there out there with him. May have gotten it back to the line of scrimmage as the players tie it up once again.
There was a forearm thrown in the middle of that scrum. I didn't see a penalty flag thrown, but a couple of the players for Lane trying to get their teammates settled down. You can see Richardson giving the signal, everybody calm down.
At the 46. 2nd down for Tuskegee. McGrew lines up in the pistol. Spivey joins him in the backfield. Ronaldo with a couple of impressive runs in the first half for Tuskegee.
Charles, we talked about the time of possession at the half. At the end of the third quarter, Lane is still dominating. 26 minutes, 21 seconds to Tuskegee's 18 minutes and 39 seconds of time of possession in this football game. That's just a weird stat given the score.
Absolutely. Can understand it a little bit more because, they have got a couple of scores and coming from behind, but it's still, as you reference, overall, you would think that would favor Tuskegee.
Lane has run 47 plays for 183 yards. Tuskegee run 38, which is really, they've run fewer plays, but they picked up more yards at 240.
They lead it 18-13. They reset the clock at 2nd and 10. McGrew surveys, pressure, flushes him left. Now he'll raise and fire, trying to get it downfield and overshoots E.J. Hall down near the 10-yard line. E.J. had a couple of steps on the defender, but McGrew throwing that football to his left shoulder, which is toward the sideline and out of bounds. So Tuskegee now will face a 3rd down and 10 after that incompletion downfield. Pistol formation for Tuskegee. Spivey to the left of McGrew. Slots either side. Now Nation in motion to the right. Snap to McGrew. Fires that way. Floater high. Nation with the catch. And he'll be knocked out of bounds near the 48-yard line. That'll make him 4 yards shy of the first down marker.
Nation made an excellent catch in coverage that time. Once again, Frederick Lewis, the cornerback for Lane, very aggressive. As it stands, Tuskegee going to punt formation.
Oh, Tuskegee, we saw this the last time they tried the fake punt at this very spot on the field, just inside of the 50 on the Dragon side of the 50.
What did Hall of Notes teach us? I can't go for that.
I know that. You're right. I'm not going to step the same well twice. They sent on Callum Brent to punt this football away. Didn't make that choice. Possession to go. It's a touchdown for the Dragons as a result. We'll see if we can get Brent to go to a corner here. Trying to kick it away from the coverage. And he'll put it out of bounds. So depending on where they mark it in flight, it's likely coming outside of the 20. Right there at the 19 and a half. So that's going to count for another one inside the 20 for Callum Brent.
Okay, my spider sense is telling me this is where Tuskegee picks up its turnover on this drive. Mark it, book it.
All right, 11:34. We'll check for spiders in the room. Dragons make it out to the field. It'll be at their 19 and a half to start this drive. Phillips joined by Christian in the backfield. TU pulling everybody up near tight to the line, and the backers and corners tight as well. Anticipating run, and they got one as Christian pounds away right side.
This is that time of game, Charles, where the game is in balance. It's there for the taking. Either team can make a big play and claim this game. 18-13. We're just underway in the fourth quarter with 11 minutes and change. We'll be at about under 11 minutes to go when the net ball is snapped. But this is a very important drive. Let's point the obvious out for Lane College.
Indeed it is. We've seen that big play that they got their first touchdown from. And a short field to work with to get their second. On the ground, they go straight ahead, right side. Not a whole lot there. Tuskegee really tightening things up on the run. Literally kind of convincing themselves that the Dragons are going to run this football.
I think size-wise, this is one of the few teams that Tuskegee matches up well against. They have been dominated from time to time, but by teams, I'm thinking about Benedict's offensive line. They just ran a bunch of mashers up front. Tuskegee had a hard time handling them. Lane is a little bit more in their weight class.
I think you're absolutely right on that. It'll be a third down here for the Dragons. 3rd and 6. And Coach Connor going to take a timeout. I think you're referencing the significance of this play as to why they take it. They took it with 10-11 remaining in this fourth quarter, knowing that they really got to make this first down. Tuskegee defensively love the idea of getting a stop here and forcing that football back over to the offense.
So the Tuskegee cheerleaders during the last timeout come over to the home side and give a brief visitation for the alumni. Might be a good time for the cheerleaders to crank up a defense chant just to get everybody a little bit more into this game, because this is a defensive stand that's going to be really important for Tuskegee. Know it's homecoming, know it's Lane. This game is a long way from over.
I agree with you. Really got to find something to get this 12th man into this element as well, and that's the student body over under the shed. Just have not had that constant thunder from over there throughout this ball game. Likely the nature of the game itself in terms of the scoring.
Also the nature of the season. We've seen the Tuskegee fan with this team only to be disappointed from time. They may be a little bit worn out.
On a third down play here. Flags at the line of scrimmage. Oh, my goodness. Dragons took the timeout. It looks like they're going to come out and be penalized right after the timeout.
We talked about the idea of discipline. This is I don't want to use the term shooting yourself in the foot because it's so overused, but they come out of the timeout and are victimized. I saw 3 flags fly before they could get the snap off.
Yeah, a couple of players very dejected by that as well. You never want that, but you certainly don't want it after a timeout.
Okay. Well,
Well,
let's flip it.
yeah.
Delay game called against Tuskegee's defense.
Yeah, we saw that the last time we were here with our coverage in the ball game against Allen. We saw it for the first time being called this year for the Tuskegee football game, and told that it's more about gestures that the defense makes right before ball snaps to try to get the offense to jump out. So that pushes the Dragons to a 1st and 10. They bring a man in motion. Phillips gets the pressure. Now he feels it, slides to his left, trying to get back into the middle of the field up behind the line of scrimmage after about a yard's loss.
I'm no official, and I don't play one on TV, but Kerryon Montgomery, the offensive lineman for Lane, had a handful of jersey on that last play. Fortunate that he didn't get penalized for it. As it stands, it'll be 2nd down and 10 for Lane, but their offensive linemen might need to clean up their technique a bit.
As we go down to 9:35 left in regulation. TU clings to the 18-13 lead. Dragons face a 2nd down and 11 after the 1-yard loss. Snap to Phillips. On the ground, trying to get it to the left side. It's Cutright on the carry, but Cutright cut down right at the line of scrimmage.
Tuskegee football.
He lost it on the fumble instead. They actually took it away from him on the inside. They were grabbing at it, and Lassiter, I can't believe it. You forecasted this turnover, and you got it.
Sometimes you can just feel it in your bones. This game was just hanging there. Tuskegee's defense playing really aggressively, got a hand in on that last scrum, and they pick up the turnover and the ball at the 30-yard line of Lane.
Now one formula for Tuskegee. Cash this in for a touchdown. They lead at 18-13. And the offense coming back out after the fumble recovery from the defense.
Something to note, the tempo of how Tuskegee runs their offense with this golden opportunity.
They go quickly this time. On the ground. Left side on the carry for Tuskegee. Desmond Leverett. Haven't seen much of Desmond this latter season. Trying to get some action out of him left side. He got 3 on the carry. It ought to make it 2nd and 7 for Tuskegee.
Tuskegee back at the line of scrimmage, getting the play call. Players in formation, all looking to the sideline. Now they're getting ready for the snap count.
8:47 left in the ball game. Football at the 27 now of the Dragons. Play clock being kept on the field. TU keeping it on the sideline. Trying to manage it for the freshmen. They go on the ground, right side, at the line of scrimmage and wrapped up there. Good defensive stop by the Dragons up front. Leverett trying to find some space right side, but wrapped up.
Lane did an excellent job of closing that play off before it could develop penetration from the left side of that front wall. Really shut that down for Tuskegee.
Clock continuing to run. TU facing a 3rd down, and let's call it 8 yards needed for the first. Snapped. Grew, backs pressure, threw it there in traffic, and it was almost intercepted. Trying to slice it into the hands of Hardy with 4 Dragon defenders surrounding him.
Led by that number 11, that man, Frederick Lewis, had his hand up in celebration, knowing he got a hand on that ball. It was tipped, hung in the air for a half beat. It was very close to being intercepted, that many men in the area, but as it stands, set up for a 45-yard field goal attempt.
Ryan's hit a 44-yarder last weekend, his longest of the season. This will eclipse that.
From the right hash mark.
Brent the hold. Kick by Ryans. Floated it. I think he may have left it wide. Yep, sure did. Left it out to the left side from the right hash, as you referenced last. Pushed it, tried to overcompensate there and just pushed it wide of the goal post.
First player in on the celebration for Lane, Devontae Richardson, strong safety. He's only 5'9", but he's one of the first players that was in on that kick block team, getting the pressure on Ryan. So here we go again. Lane with the football at the 28-yard line. Clock 7:24 remaining in this ball game.
That should give them a spurt there to deny Tuskegee points there after they turned it over. So Billups back out there for the Dragon offense with the snap. Ball fake, and he'll try to find some space. Got a little bit left side, turns the corner, and slides out of bounds near the 40-yard line. He got enough for Lane College first down.
Exactly how Lane wanted to start this drive, with a big first down run by their quarterback. Billups has the opportunity now, starting with this next play at the 40-yard line. He's very close to where he delivered that long touchdown pass in the first half.
Boy, just a sense of where you're referencing this ball game kind of hanging in the balance for either team. Dragons trying to step it up from their 40. They send the man in motion. They'll keep it on the ground. Christian met there in the backfield and knocked down in his tracks, didn't make it back to the line of scrimmage.
Zarek Williams, the tight end, was trying to get a block in on one of the Tuskegee linemen. First player to the spot for Tuskegee was Timothy Grayson once again. Did an excellent job of fighting off the block, making the hit for no gain.
Clock continuing to run here at Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium. Right now it's at 6:24 left in the fourth. Second down, and they got him back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 for the Dragons. This time Billups takes a drop, shoots it toward the sideline, coming back for the football and making the catch near the 48-yard line.
I didn't know Billups had that kind of arm strength. That time he threw a rope complete to about the 47-yard line. That's the most accurate and forceful throw that we've seen Billups make all afternoon.
He found Tavian Brothers, the freshman, at the sideline. Thrown with authority there by Billups.
Say one thing about Billups. He has a lot of variety in his quarterback palette. That time went with the line drive shot.
3rd down and 2 as after the catch. High snap, they get it on the ground. Christian bangs ahead past midfield for the Dragons, and they got a first down on that carry.
Okay, now we've talked about time of possession. Tuskegee's defense has been on the field longer than they would like. This is the second drive for Lane, coming off of that previous drive where they turned it over. But all of a sudden, you can see their offensive line starting to surge forward just a bit more as they have crossed the midfield stripe.
Nice call. Tuskegee got to find an answer here to quell this Dragon drive. They can take the lead with a touchdown. Billups brings the man in motion. He'll take a drop. Looking upfield. Unloads it one-on-one. Downfield. King fighting. And Michael comes away with the pick for Tuskegee. Michael step for step with Brothers down the sideline. And King rules the day with the interception for Tuskegee.
Big-time players make big-time plays. King was step for step with Javion Brothers of Lane, who was running down the near sideline from about the 20 to the 10-yard line. They were shoulder to shoulder. King steps in at the last minute, makes the interception, gives Tuskegee the football with 4:39 remaining.
King, his 3rd pick of the season for Tuskegee. And if there's a scout looking at the next level of play from Michael King, that's the kind of thing you want to see on a highlight reel. As you referenced, he was just step for step. Once that football was airborne, he just willed it more.
Two things have to happen. He has to be able to track the football accurately in the air. 2, stay with his man. And then let's add another one. Make the catch.
Make the catch. Sure. That's 3, right? Big break there for the Golden Tigers. They'll go on the ground now, left side and near the 10-yard, and they'll push the pack near the 12 as they unpile it there. It's like Johnny Morris on the carry for Tuskegee.
There are some people that would argue that playing defensive back is one of the toughest, if not the toughest position on the field after quarterback, because your responsibility is win or lose. If you win, you look good. If you lose, it's 6.
Indeed, you're right. I can attest. Played a little bit of that in high school, and it was always that. You're out there on an island on your own. And it's either you rise to the occasion or you come back to the sideline saying, "You got me, coach." But it's difficult, no question.
Did they ever call you Toast when you were playing defensive back?
They called me the toaster.
Not the toasty.
Right? Not to be confused with the toasty. 3:45 before this one's toast. If Tuskegee can keep this football, they lead it 18-13 over the Dragons.
Tuskegee wants to pick up a first down, preferably on the ground if they can. It would be nice if they could hold on to the football without giving it back to Lane.
Yeah, you don't want to have to play that because we'll have a couple of timeouts here before this ball game concludes, and one of which will be that 2-minute timeout. So Coach Connor is going to be trying to manage through that with his timeouts. And Tuskegee facing a 3rd down and 1. They've got to get this first down here on a high snap. They'll run it right in the middle, and I think they spin forward enough to get the first down. I think it was Morris on the carry, but we'll wait until after they unpile it to see. It was Johnny, and Johnny able to get that first down for the Golden Tigers.
Nice catch by the Tuskegee quarterback. That was not only off target, it was a hard snap that he had to reach for and snag on the fly.
So TU gets the fresh set of downs to their own 18-yard line. 2:36 in the clock running. Now they'll be deliberate about the snaps here. Quite sure how many timeouts the Dragons have left. Going to see it from the scoreboard here. They may let it run right, or they'll get one snap before the 2-minute timeout. Try the Golden Tigers run it right side. A helmet pops free. And TU just trying to grind this thing out now. 2:12. And I think the Dragons are going to wait until they get to the 2-minute timeout. Right now it's 2nd down and 8 for Tuskegee. They would love to they won't get one in. It'll get to the 2-minute mark before that play takes place. So the timeout now with the 2-minute warning, if you will, in the game. And Tuskegee just got to get a couple of downs here to kind of seal this one up on that Dragon defense.
Lane trying to get their linebacker, Jersey Trubb, calmed down as he was talking to quite a few of the Tuskegee players. Chubb, one of the fiery leaders, got a little bit too fiery that time, feeling that he could take on about 3 Tuskegee players in between plays.
Well, the reality of that, it'll be what it's going to be. But the real thing is if you get hit with an assessment there, that really hurts your team in terms of what happens there.
And you can see his teammates pull Chubb away, which showed a great sign of leadership. They saw one of their players kind of falling apart, and they did the job of getting him away from having a flag thrown against him.
Yeah, football is such an emotional game, and there's just so much physical contact associated with it. Sometimes you come away from a infraction or encounter with somebody, and it just makes you mad because you feel like you've been violated to some degree, and then you do something to respond to it, and you're the guy that gets normally hit by the officials with the call.
Nothing will ever, in history of SIAC football, top the scrum that we saw at Lane College in Jackson, Tennessee, where a player was ejected. And we didn't know what happened until after the game. I went down and talked to one of the officials. I said, why did you throw that unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against the Lane player? The referee looked at me and said he had a knife in his sock. I said, okay,
yeah.
Mr. Ref, I get it.
Yeah, that's to the extreme, right? Yeah. 2 minutes left in this football game. The freshman Bryson McGrew going all the way in this contest for Tuskegee. They face a 2nd down and 8 here. They go on the ground. Leverett looking for space left side. Got to the second wave of that Dragon defense. Spins forward about a yard shy of the first down marker. That was a big play there for the Tuskegee offense to get that yardage on the left side and make it 3rd down and 1.
And a saving tackle that time by John White, the strong safety for Lane. If he doesn't make that tackle, that play is breaking for another 10 to 15 yards.
Clock continuing to run. Likely indication that Lane doesn't have any more timeouts. And Tuskegee won a 3rd and 1. They get this first down here. You can close things out. They'll run this clock down and likely get this snap closer to a minute and 10 perhaps left in the game. Pick up that fresh set of downs. Everybody can go to the largest cookout in the world, and they'll get that first down with Leverett running it right side. So they went back to the inside, and Desmond delivers for Tuskegee and delivers with that first down run. Likely win for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee to break a 6-game losing skid here at homecoming.
The only question is whether the Alumni Club of Montgomery saved you any food. Are they going to make you a plate at least?
I'm hoping so. Roberta Taylor, caterer for that affair up there. Excellent to work with. And we know that the chapter really enjoyed themselves after winning our inaugural Alumni Chapter Challenge. Scored over 900 points in our competition this year. That's going to be a high mark to beat next year in our competition. As the clock running here inside Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium. And Lane had a timeout, but they wait until 26 seconds left in the game to burn it after Tuskegee gets the first down. Boy.
That was curious.
Very. Extremely curious, huh?
Well, it's got to feel good to the Tuskegee players, if no one else, that they can hang tough through adversity over the last 6 weeks and come out with the victory for the most important game of the year. I don't care who you're playing. You want homecoming because that's the one that everyone is here to see. Put aside the DJs, put aside the music and the food, the setups, and the RVs. People want to see a winner.
Absolutely. A lot of folks come from different parts of the country to do it. Had a couple of the alumni chapter presidents here at halftime that came from different areas. Reliable A.J. Woodson at the New Dark chapter here every year. And Lakeisha Liggum from the Columbus Phoenix City chapter. Those just a few of the people who've come here to Tuskegee to witness homecoming. Not disappointing on this afternoon is the Golden Tiger football team.
trying to get one of the coaches with the Gatorade bath, and the coach ran away from it. Aaron James at midfield.
James trying to indicate we have nothing to celebrate, but he won't let them douse him that way. He's such a classy guy. Wants to get over there to Stanley as soon as he can. Those guys are friends for years and years. And Aaron, you know, you ask him, he's certainly not going to be satisfied with the way the season has gone for Tuskegee. But as you referenced, homecoming is a very special thing. And if there's one on your schedule that you definitely want to win, it's homecoming. And Tuskegee has broken a 6-game losing skid with their win here this afternoon over the Dragons of Lane College. 18-13 the final here at Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium. We'll take a quick time out here. Back with some closing thoughts and get you on with your homecoming festivities.
Broadcast coverage of Golden Tigers athletics is brought to you by the following. The U.S. Coast Guard, always ready. Booster Digital Displays, dedicated to providing high-quality, affordable LED displays with exceptional service. Alabama Power, for the service of Alabama. TNT Fireworks, celebrating more than 100 years of America's #1 best-selling brand of fireworks. Yellowwood, a better backyard awaits. Home Depot, how doers get more done. Utilities Board of Tuskegee. Purpose, progress, people. Coca-Cola. Enjoy the moment with a Coca-Cola. Tuskegee Federal Credit Union. Serving the people of Tuskegee and the surrounding community since 1938. TLAT Media. Step by step, TLAT Media makes your business grow. And by Advertising Solutions. From concept to conversion, we are your advertising solution.
The story from Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium on homecoming 2025 is a good end for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. They win at 18-13 over the Dragons of Lane College. They break that 6-game losing skid during the course of the season, and they do it here at homecoming, Mark. So as you referenced, homecoming is a big part of your schedule, and Tuskegee able to answer this afternoon.
So it's always a joy to work with you no matter what. But it just feels a little bit better to work during a win. And as Tuskegee has struggled over the last 6 weeks, we've been right there with them. Our hearts are with this team. So it's nice to see them at midfield, getting a chance as the victor on their homecoming, shaking hands with the opposing team with a smile on their face as opposed to disappointment.
Nice call on that. And then you look forward to what's next on Tuskegee's schedule. It's a team that there's just a built-in rivalry with the Bears of Miles College and Tuskegee trying to claim the top spot in Division II football amongst HBCUs. So every year, that's always a good battle. But this year, it's at Fairfield over at Miles College.
Tuskegee Golden Tigers going after coaches now, dousing everybody with Gatorade. But as the tradition is with the Golden Tigers, they're poised in front of the band, as they are every game, to raise their helmets to the alma mater. And again, you do it win or lose, but if you win at homecoming and you're singing the alma mater, that's something you can put in the yearbook.
No doubt about it. Absolutely the case. Take a look at some of these quick numbers coming out of this football game for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. 54 plays for 281 yards of total offense. So I want to quickly check the freshman Bryson McGrew. 13 of 24 for 134 yards, threw two touchdowns in this football game for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. Nation with a couple of big catches, finished with 6 in the ball game. Garmin, after dropping his first target, he finished with 2, and on the ground for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee, Ronaldo Spivey got most of his yardage on that one play from scrimmage, 64-yard run for him. He finished the ball game with 67 total yards, and Tuskegee winning this football game 18-13 over Lane.
Let me jump in for a second. Now, you always give the offensive players a lot of depth, but I'm going to go ahead and mention key defender. Let's give him Defensive Player of the Year of the game for this game, Devin Irving Jr. 6 tackles, 12 total tackles, half sack. Irving, name we called a lot this afternoon, was a key player in slowing down Lane's offense.
Yeah, I like that call. Messiah Wells, he finished with 8, and Grayson, both of them. Tamarcus had 8, and Timothy had 6 for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. It's a win at homecoming, so everybody is in high spirit. Tuskegee University, and that'll spill over into all the tailgate areas and to the vendor village as well, as TU continues to celebrate the win here at homecoming 2025. That'll do it for our coverage here on this Saturday afternoon. So glad you could join us on GTSN with our coverage of Tuskegee football. More coming your way next weekend from Fairfield, Alabama, against the Bears of Miles College. Special thanks to Tuskegee President Dr. Mark Brown, Rolandis Rice, Chief Operating Officer, and, of course, Athletics Director Reginald Ruffin. On behalf of broadcast partner Mark Lassiter and our pregame and halftime host Charles McNeil, this is Charles Ward saying thanks so much for joining us. And we'll see you next weekend here on GTSN. This has been a production of the Golden Tiger Sports Network.